And there's other ones that's just like, hey, here's two vice admirals, Maynard and whoever the and then you don't care about them. You got your Sabo, you got your Koala hack. There's a lot to like about Dressrosa.
All right, everybody got us. Everybody here.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yo.
Oh,
man,
that's so weird because we've been talking for the last 5-10 minutes. I guess I needed to stay on the page of going live for a little bit longer. What's up, everybody? Yes, it actually began 5 minutes ago. We've been talking. Maybe I'll put up the video eventually.
Oh, it just started up?
Yeah, for some reason it just started up.
Oh man, what?
Yeah, it's
so I've just been talking.
Yeah, you've just been talking.
Oh, that sucks.
What is this about, Alfonso? The creator, Grand Live Review, is putting out a video called the well, you can see it on screen, the Dressrosa Disaster full documentary. He had 100. You know what? We got 4 minutes. Let's play the trailer. We'll play the trailer.
And while you're doing that, I'll just repeat what I said because apparently it wasn't live. Dressrosa for me is a solid B to B plus arc. There's problems, but it's not like a disaster as the thing says. The trailer says that it's freaking 100 people coming up here and talking about it, and I'm like, 100 people, what they got to say. And some of these arguments out the gate are just like really weak. Okay. And this is what you chose to showcase for your trailer.
And this will allow us to be able to hear the audio volume and audio level. Are we going to pause through this?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know why not.
Yeah.
March 4th, 2013.
So
The world is rocked
to
by a Harlem Shake outbreak. Scientists boldly claim to have directly measured the polarization of light, and famed composer Antonio Vivaldi celebrated his 335th birthday. Fascinating because at this point, he'd spent the last 272 years rather dead. However, on this day, there was an event that overshadowed everything. An act so powerful that it permanently altered a segment of humanity. On March 4th, 2013, the One Piece manga began weekly serialization of the Dressrosa arc. Easily the most controversial story in the entire series. But don't take my word for it.
It was different. It was really different.
It is very ambitious.
It might be controversial.
Very controversial.
I was scared of reading it.
What even was that?
Drove me to the point of near insanity.
It was painful.
Oh, I'll be there now.
This was a really big deal, you know?
Too ambitious.
Too long.
Too many characters.
This isn't gonna be easy. I could barely keep track of everything that was happening.
Mission in like Spain.
Split up the crew.
Toys walking all over the place. Okay, there's a birdcage now.
Like, oh my god.
All these people doing all these different things.
It's really hard to keep track of like who is who.
Giola?
Ouchie! Giant stone man.
Vacuum women.
Lucy, okay?
Stupid, goofy face. He's Steven Tyler.
It's a big thumbs down from Astro.
We are in for a showdown, and it's probably going to take a while.
Endless Rebecca flashback.
This boy right here? Filler Dugong arc.
I feel like that's a massive red flag.
Stupid choice.
And then all of a sudden it just becomes a mess.
What is this? Bad animation.
Big fist. Hits string.
What is happening?
Did not make any sense to me.
I couldn't figure it out.
Messed up? The reason?
It probably felt like the worst.
How's the audio level now?
I'm not saying to do that.
I turned it down a little bit.
Where I was like, this needs to end.
Dressrosa? Ugh.
Hello and welcome to the Grand Line.
Okay, then now he's just talking about what it's about, so yeah. What was the month you want to do, because we're running out of time?
We suck at picking videos. Viewer request month.
Ooh, I like it.
Y'all, if it's y'all fault if we suck this time, we do a viewer request month. Set up polls, whatever we gotta do.
That sounds interesting. I'm down for that. I can do some viewer request stuff. I can agree the birdcage stuff was kind of mad. I think the birdcage stuff was fine. I think Doppelganger Dofi was a big negative for me.
Yeah.
He did too much. It was too not just...
He had too much autonomy.
Not just saying a series. Pick the actual video and we do it.
Yeah. Pick some videos. We'll vote. We'll decide. It's gonna be a good one. Cause hey, we screwed up on this last month, admittedly.
Dude, it was a mistake.
So now it's y'all fault if we suck.
Which I can get behind. That way we could just be like, oh, you guys though.
Instead of just like, dang, another one? Dang, in 2-hour recap? Word, DBCM ran?
That was disgusting. That was literally disgusting.
No!
No, everybody, don't pick Anime Wins videos.
Or rip-off videos.
Don't put that in people's heads. We're starting soon. So, with the, is that my stream? I probably need to clear some stuff. All right. Y'all not gonna see something on the screen for a second. Make sure my...
We'll talk about what the videos are later. This isn't what this stream is about.
But I will say, potentially, we will read something.
Yes, we will read something if it's worthy, if it's a good enough video, if it's enough book, blah, blah, blah. Hey, this ain't that type of...
Stop talking about torturing us.
How about some good videos?
Y'all don't get just one. Y'all get up to at least 4, potentially up to like 6 or 7 if we decide to live stream too.
Hello, Hope. Goodbye, Hope.
Stream's a little loud.
See, Nami, we can't hit freaking Nux anymore because he knows about us. He knows that he living rent free in our head.
Alright, I turned it down a little bit more. I'll also turn down the but it might just be this audio. We'll turn it back up when it comes up.
How about now? How about that? Is that good? Well, I hope this is one of those streams where it's able to rewind and...
I mean, it's a premiere. Premiere as you can. You can rewind, but you can't fast forward.
Well, obviously. Well, fast forwarding when we pause.
Yes, you can.
Well, you actually
March
already
4th,
did it.
2013. The world is rocked
Oh
by
my
a Harlem-shaped
goodness.
outbreak.
Wow, we
Scientists
just watched
boldly
this.
claimed
Oh
to
no.
directly
Okay.
measured the polarization of light.
I understand,
And
it's the
famed
intro.
composer Antonio Vivaldi celebrated his 335th
This is times
birthday.
where I wish I could
Fascinating,
fast
because
forward.
At this point, he'd spent the last 272 years rather dead. However, on this day, there was an event that overshadowed
We finally stream when you're not working.
an act so powerful that it permanently altered.
Yeah, we
a
just stream
segment
when we
of
want to.
humanity.
Dude,
March 4th,
legitimately.
It's like, you want to stream?
2013,
Alright, cool.
the
Put it up.
One Piece manga began a weekly serialization of the Dressrosa arc. Easily the most controversial story in the entire
This
series.
is to this documentary
Don't take
length,
my word
and
for it.
I checked
It
out
was
full
different.
documentary list.
It was
It
really
like
different.
48 minutes, so I don't know if it's gonna be like
It might be
that.
controversial.
They say
Very
over
controversial.
100
I was
people are in this, so I don't think,
What even was that?
unless they're just
True,
doing
to the
sound
point of
bites,
near
it's gonna be
It
that.
was
I honestly think it's about an hour and 12
was
minutes
a really big
because
deal, you
if
know?
you try to watch it through Google, it'll tell you the time.
This isn't gonna be easy. I could barely keep track of everything that was happening.
Mission in like Spain.
split up the crew.
Toys walking all over the place. Okay, there's a birdcage now.
Like, oh my god.
All these people doing all
Yeah,
these different
legit.
things.
Why even put this party in? It's redundant.
Yeah, it's like watching a movie and then the trailer plays before the movie starts.
Stupid,
Like I seen the
goofy
trailer.
face.
I'm here for this.
It's a big thumbs down from Astro. We are in for a showdown, and it's probably going to take a while.
Endless Rebecca flashback.
Honestly, this might be part of the 100 creators.
I feel like that's a massive red flag.
Stupid choice.
That'd be
And then all of a sudden it just becomes a mess.
What is this? That animation
Big fist hits string.
What is happening?
did not make any sense to me.
I couldn't figure it out.
It was messed
Yeah,
up.
they are. It's the anime
probably
that
felt
seems
like
to
the
be the
worst start of
problem.
all
If it's just
time. I'm not
anime
saying do
stuff,
that.
like we all know. What about story stuff?
You know, that was a rather negative way to start a video, wasn't it? Then again, truth be told, even me, you know, the guy whose entire life is about being a One Piece talker, even my feelings on Dressrosa, they're pretty mixed to say the least. It's not as simple as saying that Dressrosa is bad because of X, and in fact, it doesn't even necessarily start with the arc itself. There's a fair bit to understand before getting into all of this, and with that in mind, quick recap. One Piece is an ongoing Japanese manga series that began in 1997, written and illustrated by Ichiro Oda, a man who...
Why are you here if you don't know what One Piece and Dressrosa is?
Okay, to be fair,
plucky young protagonist Monkey D. Luffy as he journeys across the world.
It's a documentary, so maybe he's informing the people before they go into
some of which have
it's the only thing I can think
of. Some of which do not. All of which have dreams though, and together they sail throughout the Grand Line, stopping at various islands, overcoming assorted challenges, and perpetually moving on with their journey. And this journey has taken so long that almost 24 years later it still has yet to conclude, resulting in One Piece having published over 1,000 chapters, an anime adaptation of almost as many episodes, 14 theatrically released films, roughly a gazillion games, and even a Guinness World Record for the most copies of comic book published by a singular author. To call the series popular would be an unimaginable understatement. There's an incredible legion of fans worldwide, such as myself and this guy, just to name two. Even then, over the years, One Piece has had, to quote Katy Perry, its hots and colds, yeses and nos, ins and outs, ups and downs, and there is no part of the series that better encapsulates all 8 of those English words than Dressrosa. This singular story arc is by far the most divisive in One Piece, and when I say divisive, I mean that this arc won't just cause controversy between people, but also within people.
I have mixed feelings about this one.
I have a love and hate relationship with the Dressrosa arc.
It really bothers me.
It's a difficult child because it's long and it's full of stuff.
I think Oda was experimenting a lot in this arc.
It has its moments, but one of the best arcs, it is nuts.
At this point in the mammoth journey that is One Piece...
See, that's the problem here. It's so fragmented that we're getting bits and pieces of these people's arguments. It's just like, yeah, it's long. Okay, what about it? Should it be short with 150 new characters? Like what?
I don't...
I'm already not digging this format.
We had entered what is known as the New
Who
World
are
Era,
these people?
It
would be better if they just put like...
we had gone through 2 fairly hefty story arcs, being Fishman Island and Punk Hazard, both of which, to be perfectly frank, somewhat disappointed the fan base in their own fun and unique ways.
I wasn't a big fan of Punk Hazard or Fishman Island.
We had just gotten to...
Why not?
Oh my god.
Why aren't you a fan? Are you just taking people's videos? Are you just going to people's videos and going, hey, can I use this in my documentary? And they're going, yes. And that's how you get your 100 creators, by just going, yeah, I agree that I also did not like Punk Hazard or Fishman Island.
Or if he just goes up to 100 people and go, hey, give me a short snippet about how you feel about Dressrosa and Punk Hazard and Fishman Island.
Arcs that, in my opinion, were not great.
Fishman Island was just a
Sign up,
breeze
really?
through.
So these are literally just bums.
We're out of Punk Hazard.
Some commonly cited reasons for this include...
I actually like Punk Hazard.
Alright, well there you go, there's always one. But commonly cited reasons for this include uninspiring main antagonist, a lack of...
Caesar?
I love Caesar Clown.
Caesar is uninspiring?
He had a motivation, he had a great personality, he had a really good power, what? Okay, and just moving on. Uninspired villain, I showed these people, moving on.
But commonly cited reasons...
You gotta thicken up this soup here, homie.
Challenge, and the general idea that both were just a little bit too long for what they ultimately ended up accomplishing. Which in real world time, these 2 arcs were published between 2010 to early 2013, so we're looking at a couple of years of patience here. With that said, they were quite forgivable experiences because they were both clearly building up to
There was also the return of this
major
Straw Hats,
conflict and saga climax in the New World Era. However, it's fair to say that after having experienced 2 fairly, neutral offerings, that there was now an extraordinary amount of pressure on Dressrosa to deliver the juicy goods.
I was insanely hyped for Dressrosa.
To me, I was like, wow, there's so much to expect with Dressrosa.
I was hyped about everything.
I was really excited.
Pause. What are you hyped about? Based on what? If that's the case, shouldn't it be, I'm really hyped about Fishman Island, I'm really hyped about Punk Hazard since the Fishman Island didn't deliver? Like,
and if Caesar is an uninspiring villain, why are you hyped about the next part of the uninspiring villain, which is going to be a huge part of the arc, giving him over to Dofi and stuff?
This snippet thing is not working. It's just people giving short blurbs.
Yeah,
It's tweets.
I would assume Dofi is the hype thing, but Dofi has been around for so long, you know it's going to be a long and involved story, and it's going to be a while before you get that Dofi. And the Dofi is mostly amazing.
Yeah, J.D. Lesnar, I know of him. He was in a Reverie.
Yeah, I was actually really hyped to, read Dressrosa.
Dressrosa kind of seemed like the pinnacle of what the entire journey was going to be.
And what? Based on what?
What is this bum talking about, yo? The pinnacle?
So hype. At the time, it was so hype.
My expectations were skyrocketing.
Oh, man. That is an
240p camera.
This might be part of y'all problems. Y'all were so hyped for this thing to come out, and then when it was roughly middling, y'all went, "Gee, this isn't what I wanted."
Yeah, that seemed like what it is.
Insane amount of pressure, and as a result, Dressrosa was very much doomed from the beginning to be under this
Title is the
microscope
peak.
of intense scrutiny, which had
It
not
was all
applied
leading to
anything
him.
that had come before it. This arc needed to deliver perfectly, efficiently, and ideally, rather quickly. Luckily, what the
No
story
one
was
explained
promising
why
right at the outset had quite a bit going for it.
Seeing Law get on board for this.
Aside for Law's backstory, because I knew this is when this kind of Law's arc.
I wanted to see how the dynamics between Law and the Straw Hats
Oh my
play out.
goodness.
Him and the Straw
Pause
Hats
real
have
quick.
this plan.
Hey, right here, not the biggest Law fan. Do not like him.
He's
Get him
straight.
out of here.
He's straight.
Exactly. He's straight, and everybody loves him, and I don't know why other than cool guy. Cool, strong guy.
Yeah,
I
same
don't
with
like
Ace,
that
same
trope.
with Saba.
I don't like that trope.
To take down Doflamingo.
All right, we're taking on another warlord.
One of the best villains in the series.
And we knew that Doflamingo was a very powerful character.
And this felt like the first opportunity post-time skip
Okay,
for the
so we've already gotten at least 25 people. So
Yeah,
it's
I
worthless.
told you.
It's worthless to advertise 100 people giving 2 sentences apiece, 5 seconds.
Doflamingo was a very powerful character.
And this felt like the first opportunity post-time skip for this.
Law's
to really
fine,
kind of
y'all.
flesh his
Shut up.
muscles.
So essentially all we needed to do was infiltrate an island, wreck a factory, beat up some flamingo dude, and call it a day. Seems simple enough, yeah? So how could something that straightforward go ever so wrong?
When is it ever that simple?
When is it ever that straightforward?
When? They wanted to just get some food on a floating restaurant. And one of the greatest military mights bust through the door.
Along with the greatest swordsman of all time. Or in the world.
Like, when is it ever just simple?
Hey, let's go to Logtown. That's where the Pirate King was. Whoops. Whoops.
Just passing
Yeah,
through.
So how could something that straightforward go ever so wrong?
Nami, don't get banned, Nami.
Damn characters.
There are a lot.
There are too many characters.
Majority of the character is forgettable.
I couldn't remember them.
I don't
Pause. The characters that you need to remember are the memorable ones.
Yes.
Nobody's
really
talking
need to know
about
the fuck
Abdullah
brother.
and Jeet. Nobody cares.
Yeah, Jeet.
They are combatants in the fight, but we don't know anything about their personalities, their fighting style. They just both got a sword and like a pitchfork.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to remember them. They're just 2 combatants. Somebody like Barto, he got enough time in development. There's like 4 important Tantatas. They got the time.
Hey, what's the female character that was with Wiper in Skypiea?
Yeesh.
She did memorable things, but I just don't remember her name right now.
And look at Marineford. There was a bunch of people, thousands, and then several Whitebeard pirates just pop up and like, oh yo, that's Whitey Bay.
Who?
It's One Piece. Big arcs always have a lot of people. This isn't anything new to One Piece, and not a condemnation of Dressrosa in and of itself.
Her name was Locky.
Y'all too smart.
I couldn't remember them.
I don't remember the names, and I do not care.
Quiz time. For all of you wonderful Dressrosa alumni, I have a very simple question. How many characters were featured during this arc? And I'll give you a fighting chance. Let's say tell me how many characters there were to the nearest 10. However, in exchange, should you be incorrect, then your punishment will be to subscribe to the Grand Line Review, thus resulting in regular injections of One Piece culture administered straight into your YouTube feed. Very exciting stuff, so choose your number now and let's ask ourselves, how many characters are there in Dressrosa?
I think maybe like 40 characters.
I'm gonna say
45.
37.
110.
A lot.
40 to 60 is 50.
50, 60.
69. Sorry about that.
Oh my god.
80? There are just a lot of characters actually in this arc.
You guys
Nami? Who cares?
Let's put it this way. You can boil the core of Dressrosa down to exactly 3 characters. Luffy, Law, and Doflamingo. Together in this
Sorry, Usopp was integral to what happened here.
King Riku, why is
Rebecca?
Why is
soldier
Doflamingo in power? Because he tricked the people of Dressrosa by turning the faith of King Riku on their heads. So King Riku is also important. Put Sugar in there. It's 4 people.
Now, does he mean that the core, as far as the audience, who the audience should care about?
No.
Yeah, because honestly,
I
wouldn't even put Luffy in that category.
Because Luffy really doesn't have a dog in this fight.
He spent most of his time in the Coliseum, and then he was like, hey, Dofi's over there, and then he went to go run over there.
We're given the whole backstory of Kiros, Rebecca, King Riku, like, Senor Pink, like, okay, sure.
Are down to exactly 3 characters, Luffy, Law, and Doflamingo. Together in this triangle, they form a mighty menage a charactoire, your classic battle of accessories, 2 hatted individuals versus 1 pair of sinister sunglasses. We're going to call these our primary arc characters, but where things become immediately more insane is when we start to incorporate secondary characters. So obviously we have the rest of the Straw Hat, so that's another 8. Doflamingo also has his own crew to be...
But the Straw Hats are already developed, and we know their abilities and powers.
We know their names and stuff.
We're not using mind power to remember the Straw Hats, but we are for somebody like Lao G because he's a new character with a new ability that we don't know. Same with Kiros. There's some people like Rebecca that you need the brain power to remember, but the Straw Hats, no, we know them. We got them. Unless you're talking about where are they now, but then in the beginning of some chapters, just like, here's where everybody is. And you go, got it.
How does Luffy slot into the main character of the arc over someone like Rebecca or Kiros, the toy soldier? I would put toy soldier on there, of course, first.
Absolutely.
Before Luffy. Because again, Luffy bummed around in the Coliseum for a little while. Mm-hmm. And then he went to go fight Dofi.
He's quite unfunny. It's not great.
So obviously we have the rest of the Straw Hat, so that's another 8. Doflamingo also has his own crew to be explored, which means 3 executive officers and 9 army officers.
There's 4 executive officers.
Shut up.
There's 4.
Shut up. Now.
With that, we cannot forget the Dressrosa royalty, the relevant Marines, the Revolutionary Army, the Flashback exclusive characters, the Tontada tribe, the Wano characters, because we're setting up that story as well. Then there's the individual actors such as Jesus Burgess, Caesar, Clown, Bellamy, and I feel like I'm forgetting something important. Yeah, the roughly 1 billion contestants from the Corridor Coliseum.
Do you need to remember Cactus Head? Come on now.
Yeah, the roughly 1 billion contestants.
Yeah, 90% of these people are not needed to be known. Probably closer to 80. Yeah, Jeet down there. What I give a shit about Jeet?
From the Corridor Coliseum, which, not counting the characters we've already named, is only 27, but 27 is still a lot. That's like half the characters introduced in the entire East Blue saga.
It was a smaller scale story at that point. How many characters were introduced in Marineford? How many characters were introduced in Sabaody?
This is also a tournament arc, so you need to introduce these people. You need combatants. And guess what? The ring is full of 130 people, but we get spotlights on maybe 12 per time, per block.
All within this one nifty Coliseum.
Because they were introduced so quickly, and I thought we wouldn't get enough time to learn about all of them.
You don't really get to...
Okay, what did she just say, and what was the point of it? What did they say? Because I don't know how these people self-identify. What did they say, and what was the point of it? I thought when these characters were going to be introduced too quickly and we weren't going to get development. But later we do, so what was the point of sticking that in that area?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Introduced so quickly, and I thought we wouldn't get enough time to learn about all of them.
You don't really get to know them as well as I would personally prefer.
They also felt like a very gimmicky.
Cactus Bandit, that guy. What was the point of him?
He is a combatant in the tournament. Tell me everything that you can about Kizaru. It's minimum. We don't learn anything about Kizaru.
We still don't know who Green Bull is.
We still care about him because of his actions. Now, we're going to learn more about him later, but, for now, his actions show everything that we need. What do we know about Cavendish? Oh, he was a noble in another kingdom. The whole sleeping thing, he had to run. Now he wants to be popular again.
What was the point of the Sky Tribe's other people besides Wiper and Locky and maybe one other person?
They also felt
Everybody remembers Pearl.
That guy. What was the point of him?
Cannon fodder, they weren't meant to be big like those
Tournament arcs. Okay, so are we supposed to get 15 Luffy? No, 30 Luffy level people. Like, come on now.
Was Paglia and Skypiea supposed to be Conus's dad? Was he supposed to be huge?
This is not arc exclusive.
And I don't see why it's now a problem because there's so many of them. Again, how many people were introduced in Sabaody and how much did we learn about them in that arc? Roughly their powers and a little bit of their personality.
What was the point of him?
Cannon fodder.
The point was to be a combatant in the Coliseum, not some man that you look at like, gee, that's gonna be the next big
Here
one.
comes Cactus Dude, right-hand man of Kaido.
They weren't meant to be big like those bounty hunters.
Maybe make the bounty hunters actually do
Square
something.
Sisters. Those are two.
Make the bounty hunters do something like what? Capture pirates? Y'all wanted another plot line here? Y'all wanted another story on top of what y'all already say is a mess.
To be big like those bounty hunters.
Maybe make the bounty hunters actually do something. I don't know.
We spend way too much time with them, and they're not really that important to the story.
God bless G. Okay, hey, all with you, buddy. But we didn't need him.
Who's this guy? Who's that?
Who do we
need?
Did we need Whitey Bay in Marineford? What did she do?
At this point, do we need the 4 people we saw from the Revolutionary Army? The 4 generals or whatever. Did we need the Bull Kid and Dofi's family? Could have been anybody. Could have did anything.
This is terrible.
Guy,
and it's too segmented.
Plus G. Okay, hey, all with you, buddy. But we didn't need him.
Who's this guy? Who's that guy? That's a fish man. Is that guy a jacket?
Seriously,
I
Cyber,
probably
do without. Cyber says, how long would it be if we got Senior Pink flashbacks for everybody?
Immeasurable.
And people are already talking about it's too long.
Y'all wanted more development for these people?
Are we supposed to just have, here's Doflamingo and his 6 people? This king? This dude who's been amassing members of his family for years? 6 people? And we just develop all 6 people?
How many people in Dragon Ball do we come back to? Where's Stinky Man? Where's the man that just stunk a lot?
Oh, man.
How many people did we come back to from the Dark Tournament? Where they at? What did they do?
No, nobody mentioned Android 17 until Super. He got that one little shot.
Didn't need them.
Who's this guy? Who's that guy?
No
That's
preemptive
efficient.
negative
That guy a
tens.
jacket.
I mean, I could probably do without the jacket guy.
I think that Oda realized that he could do
Funk
without the jacket guy
Brothers.
as well, because Kelly Funk and Bobby Funk completely disappeared during Dressrosa, never to be seen again. But if you-
Pause. They were shown when trying to get up the tower of Dressrosa, and then they betrayed the person and then got knocked out by Dofi. They are knocked out at that time, and then they show up. I think they show up later, like sailing away. But again,
Or even,
do
helping
we
with the
want a
birdcage.
full-on backstory for Bobby and Kelly Funk, the Funk brothers? I love them. They're great.
we've lost count of how many characters we've mentioned so far, then that is to be expected, but I do have some bad news for you, because we're not done yet. Dressrosa also comes equipped with a wide range of tertiary existences, like Yats, Gambia, and Qin. Remember Qin? Probably not. And if you do, be honest, you probably didn't remember her name. Nor should you need to, because she sucked.
I don't remember half the people from class 1A in My Hero.
I legit thought there were 12 people in that class. There were 20. I was shocked. So, like, this means nothing.
Like, I mean, literally with a vacuum and everything. But we've also got tertiary flashback characters as well. In fact, even Garp.
You don't talk about
flashback.
Russia.
Then there's the epilogue Marines. The Big Mom Pirates show up at one point because that's another arc we're setting up. Blackbeard's here on a Denden Mushi. And look, there's even more named members of the Tontara tribe. That is just excellent. All of which brings us to a grand total of 105 characters featured during the arc. So if you didn't guess around the 100 mark, then you need to do the subscribe thing. And please do say hi in the comments below if you are a new member of the Grand Fleet. Welcome. It does get crazier though, because this, I want to emphasize, is not an exhaustive list, as there is also a layer of characters that don't even really qualify as tertiary.
So we're just talking about anybody that's named. Now we gotta care about them. Now we gotta remember them. We gotta remember Cactus Dude and Abdullah and Jeet.
No.
No, we do not, and no, we shouldn't.
For our purposes here, such as the spiky melon head guy, you know the one?
He
Also
did not include
Goku's
the
gorilla
Thousand Sun.
friend, whose name is Uho apparently. And if you add in all of the spiky gorilla characters, then we're talking closer to the 150 to 200.
If you want to be pedantic about it, just people showing up, doing things, it's like, oh, that's a character. Now I need to care about Gorilla Dude as much as I care about Big Mom. What is this?
in all of the spiky gorilla characters, and we're talking closer to the 150 to 200 mark. But including them does start to get a little bit ridiculous because they're less like characters to be explored and more akin to living set dressing. In fact, you know that door homie on Whole Cake Island that the Fire Tank Pirates kind of brutally murdered in our fun pirate manga? Well, she was literal living set dressing, and Dressrosa features an avalanche of exactly that sort of character. What's really wild though is that even if you took away all of the set dressing individuals and all of the tertiary characters, you would still be left with 83 primary and secondary characters that you do need to know and follow during the arc.
You don't need to follow some of them.
Yeah.
Honestly. Just do not.
83 is definitely too much. You're definitely counting Abdullah and Jeet in there. And you do not need to follow them too.
And 83 is a big number. No, it is not as big as 84, but it is decidedly larger than 82, which is an already big number in its own right. So with that in mind, it is easy to see how people could get overloaded by the sheer flood of names, motivations, designs, and stories all within this one single arc.
There's too many characters to follow.
It was obnoxious, the amount of characters.
It's hard to keep track of all of them the first time you read through.
I can barely remember most of the characters from this arc.
None of them were that interesting. They're just kind of there.
Yeah, like I'm just like, I don't really care about you.
And many of these names,
people are getting legit 3 seconds to just let's talk about the characters. I don't know about the characters. Moving on. See, people, you heard them. Those people don't care about who are they? Why should I listen to them? Did they like any other arc? Did they dislike any other arc?
Aren't these secondary characters that we don't know the names of?
Is he about to okie doke us?
Dude, maybe he's setting up the grand scheme of just like, and do you know any of these creators?
Oh my goodness. Is he gonna?
He might be hitting the okie.
I want to emphasize.
Yeah, Dressrosa is pretty straightforward.
That does make a big difference because we had a comparable amount of characters in the Marineford arc, for example. But the great advantage that arc has is that we already knew most of them. They'd been
pause. Okay, so you counted the Straw Hats. We already know them.
We already know the admirals. We already know Sengoku, Ace, Garp. The Buggy and his crew. The main people we don't know are the Whitebeard pirates.
Yes.
We already knew Whitebeard. We didn't know Marco and the rest of them. But that's probably, what, 9 characters?
Little Orange Jr. and his whole crew.
We knew
Whitey Bay and his whole crew.
We knew the Shichibukai.
It's absolutely comparable. You're adding Law and Dofi to this list. We know about these characters. We're talking about the characters that we know in Marineford 20? And then a bunch of bum Marines. Just like, oh, here comes Vice Admiral Axeman. And then he gets destroyed by a Whitebeard. Oh man, Axeman!
Really introduced to us over the course of about a decade, and they'd had that opportunity to build a relationship with the readers. Dressrosa characters, for the most part, did not have that luxury. And
no examples. We understand Buggy and all them, but it's comparable. We got the Straw Hats. In here, we did not have the Straw Hats. We got one Straw Hat. Are you telling me we had decades for Ivankov? No. We had half an arc.
We had decades for Mr. 2, where he basically was like, y'all cool, and then went away for 9 years.
We had decades of Crocodile and Mr. 1? No. What do we know about Mr. 1? Almost nothing. We just know he got freaking sharp hands.
The readers. Dressrosa
Giant Jack is one of them that are just like, Giant Jack, Whitebeard, bam. There goes Giant Jack.
Opportunity to build a relationship with the readers. Dressrosa characters, for the most part, did not have that luxury. And no, a big number alone does not empirically mean that there are, quote, too many characters, because that's very subjective, and I promise we will get to that. However, when you have all of these people, then you need to, actually do something with them.
No, you necessarily do not need to do something with them. They could just be there as a wall, as an obstacle for Luffy to get through, or the main characters, the characters we should care about, like Bartolomeo and Bellamy to get through.
Hajjardine took out an officer. Cavendish took out an officer. Barto took out an officer.
Those are the people we should care about, and those are the people that are getting focused on, as opposed to the people that get a panel and their name and what they are and or do and or title are.
This video is not subjective.
And that ends up creating Dressrosa's second problem.
Was excruciatingly
long man bad alert.
Dressrosa too long. Yes.
No, it's absolute. This is pure subjective. Dressrosa is 101 chapters. Wano's already longer, and I think Whole Cake was very close to being as long. I think it was like 82 chapters.
And it's not all that complicated. There are the Tontadas who have the mission of beating Doflamingo. There's the Toys who have the mission of getting out of there and beating. All of them are just like beat Doflamingo. It's not like there is some grand plan over here.
It felt really drawn out and a lot going on. It was trying to introduce too many.
Drawn out and a lot going on. I don't think those two things correlate with each other.
They don't.
Really drawn out and a lot going on. It was trying to introduce too many things.
The issue of when Oda's vision for the world he's created collides with the reality of storytelling.
The week-to-week read was horrific.
These people just talking mean nothing to me. They're just saying stuff that would be in tweets. We're all about explain what you mean here, and there's no time to explain what you mean. You're just going, it's long. Look at these people say that it's long.
Of storytelling.
The week-to-week read was horrific.
The fact that it took 2.5 years to just complete an arc was a bit too long.
I think it takes
50. Pause. Nobody has established what is a good length for an arc. What is a good amount of time for an arc to last? I don't care
if an arc lasts 13 years.
Legitimately.
If it's a good arc throughout.
It doesn't matter. I understand that there's other stuff that we need to do, but this is a big point in taking down Kaido.
Chapters inside the bird case longer than the entirety of Enies Lobby.
Too long. Like, it is weird.
Enies Lobby is only half of the CP9 saga, though.
How many combatants were there that Eneru counted? There were
81.
And we're not talking about that, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There
we're
were
not
81
talking about
combatants.
that, I guess.
He said there were... No. There were only 81 people on the island. That's not even counting Skypiea around the area. Like all the Heso people.
Yeah.
All
and
those
Kronos
guards.
and her mom.
Yes, no.
Her dad, I mean.
That's only the combatants there on the island. 81.
Too long. Why does it need to be that long?
So if...
Because there's a lot going on.
Why does it need to be that long? Okay, yep, that's just... Why does One Piece need to be this long? Why didn't it just end 2 years into development? It's as long as it needs to be. And if it wasn't this long, if we didn't get to see the fighting style of all these people that are important, people once in Hajjudin and Cavendish and Bardo joined the Grand Fleet, like, why should we care about these people? So then you gotta make it long. Oh, now it's too long.
What would have been the perfect amount? 80 chapters as opposed to 101? Like, what would it take?
Yeah, pause. Nami just goes, why didn't all the Arlong pirates get fleshed out? There were like 6 important ones, and not even all of them were fleshed out. But we know them. We know Kabaji, Chu, Hachi, Mumu. Mumu's one of them. Arlong, that's 5. I think that's all of them.
No, that was all of them.
All right, there's 5 of them. And we know them. We don't need a deep backstory for Chu. We know his abilities. He's a wall. We know Arlong's backstory. He's the one that we need to know and care about.
Chapters inside the bird case longer than the entirety of Enies Lobby.
Too long. Like, it is way too long. Why does it need to be that long?
So if we were to quantify One Piece arcs into some sort of physical substance, and for argument's sake, let's take 2 objects at random, ink and paper, then your classic East Blue arc would be about this big. Then Punk Hazard, the arc that comes immediately before Dressrosa, is about, this size. Meanwhile, Dressrosa would be this. It's quite heavy.
So what? It's long. Who cares? There's a lot going on. Who cares about length?
I don't know what
you're literally just going long, man, bad. Make it shorter. You're stamping your feet. It's as long as it needs to be. Are you enjoying it? It's One Piece. You're getting all your characters that you like. You can fight. If you're not enjoying it,
that's a whole different argument.
Length doesn't matter. Because who's to say that you're going to enjoy the next arc? Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, Dressrosa would be this.
Wano's very long so far.
Yeah.
Very long.
It's a pretty serious chunk of
story. Gone into the longest arc.
No, it is the definitive longest arc.
There you go.
And how many characters are there? How many characters are there? I'm already losing track. How many characters are there? How much is introduced there? Are y'all going to have the same complaints? Or boy, does it look pretty?
That takes place over the course of 102 manga chapters. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, well, a chapter contains roughly 18 pages. So getting through Dressrosa means reading almost 2,000 of these here bad boys.
Who cares?
Dressrosa is longer than most manga series.
Yes, it is.
To be honest.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yes, because most manga series are roughly like 40 chapters.
Some of them don't last because they're not selling. They're just like, all right, you're done. Some of them just like, look, I got a story to tell and I'm going to tell the story and I'm out. That's not an argument.
And this statement is not at all an exaggeration, because you could read the entirety of Death Note, Chainsaw Man, or both parts 1 and 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in roughly the same amount of time as it would take you to tackle this singular One Piece arc. Which in and of itself is not a bad thing. I mean, look, yes, it's a lot of books, but it's manageable. You could probably blast through these in a couple, maybe even a single day if you've got literally nothing else to do, but that's very much a luxury of retrospect. The thing to keep in mind about One Piece is that it is published on a weekly basis. That means 1 chapter every week, with a break roughly once a month. And that means that Dressrosa began publication on March 4th, 2013. However, it did not conclude until September 28th, 2015. So if you were reading weekly, that is about 2.5 years. In fact, if you were reading weekly, then you would have experienced the month of March 3 times over while still engaged in this single arc.
What?
So what you say? I mean, we as a society, we wait for things. That's what we do.
No, that's not my point.
Just over 2 years.
No, that's not my point at all. Like,
well, who cares if there's length?
Are you going Jujutsu Kaisen is too long? Let's end this? Like, Come on now. This is not an argument that is just long. I don't care how many people you trudge out and just go, long.
It was long. Why it so long? My God, it long.
Ippo does have more than 1,000 chapters. What about that? Oh, he should just wrap it up.
Detective Conan has more than 1,000 chapters.
Who is the arbiter for length of things?
Now, this is all these people's opinions, but like, just going is too long. What would have been what is a perfect length arc?
What is the length of time that you would like it to be? And do all of them need to be 5 volumes no matter what? Some of them going to 6? Or do some of them like, we got a lot of stuff to do here. We're taking down a super strong Shichibukai and a direct subordinate of a Yonko. Maybe we spend some time with this. After he subjugated an entire town for years and years. Maybe we gotta take a little time with this. Maybe we don't knock on his door and punch him in 35 chapters. One chapter arc long. In and out.
We waited just over 2 years to see 3 Lord of the Rings films play out, so what's the big deal? Tell me now. Yeah, alright, let's just calm your fun. Because another fascinating issue pops up because length isn't just a problem in regards to real-world publishing time, but also the in-world time of the story. And that happens to be due to the fact that the entirety of Dressrosa predominantly takes place over the course of a single day.
2 years for 1 day.
This is what we're talking about.
Oh my goodness.
Are y'all serious?
Oh
Are y'all legitimately serious? This is what we're talking about.
This is an issue that needs to be brought up. This is what you told people to talk about. This is what at least 5 people will have a contention with. Why is this an argument?
The entire 2 years worth of storytelling takes place over a day. And this is the problem.
What does this... Now he just goes, what does this have to do with the story?
118 episodes-ish for a day is really whack to me.
I remember many times thinking like, okay, can we please move on?
Oh my god, this is going on forever. Big old slog.
I completely stopped reading for a while One Piece.
I kind of zoned out when I was watching and reading because I just lost interest.
In addition to that, unlike the Lord of the Rings example...
Pause. Can we just get the 30 some odd people here to just record a short snippet going, Dressrosa's great. And then just go, look, this is a perfect counter to this video. Because that's all
this is our documentary. Here's us explaining it. Here's people agreeing with us. Moving on.
With short snippets. This is insanity.
Arlen Park absolutely was a day, but it was a short period of time. That's the issue. This is telling the story of a single day over 2.5 years. How can you?
How dare?
How dare you? Our time is moving so much Come on, dude.
It's not like we're waiting for huge chunks of story to be dumped on us once a year. Rather, what happened is that we were being drip-fed a weekly experience which felt much more painful than it should have because...
Every chapter is drip-feeding information. What are you talking about?
There's no difference if it's good or bad. The drip is being drip.
It's drip.
The drip king, Seth Rollins.
Everything took place during a singular day.
Oh my goodness. You are still actually on this point? Who cares? I don't care if you take 30 years to tell a story that happened in a week.
Leo's got a point. It was like 4 days because if he's counting all of Dressrosa, including the end, day and night passed. So it's not a singular day.
But I think he's counting from the time the Straw Hats got there until Dofi's defeat.
Okay, but that entire last arc is just that last volume is just wrap up.
Yep.
So he needs to take that down by 1.
Yeah.
If he's not counting the days, he doesn't need to count that volume because days passed in in volume 80, I believe.
In fact, even less, because the sun doesn't even go down until the conclusion, so more accurately, we could call it a single morning and or afternoon. And as a result, there were many points during Dressrosa where the sheer length of the arc versus the amount of time passing in world made the experience feel quite stagnant. There was
because I didn't see the moon?
What would have changed if it was just like, yo, let's bounce back and go to sleep? The rounds of the tournament take place over days, so it's just like, and the next day happened. What would have changed?
Dude,
this is a terrible non-argument.
Grand frustration at a perceived lack of progress, because it's entirely possible that by a year and a half into reading this story, you had only progressed a couple of hours in world. And this feeling was so common that it was actually given a diagnosis within the illustrious and not at all overreactive online fanbase, with this condition becoming known as Dressrosa fatigue, a term that would then be rebranded as arc fatigue in order to apply to future installments of the story. And unfortunately, characters and length were not going to be the last of Dressrosa's core problems. As from here,
length is a problem, and there's too many characters.
I'm going nuts here.
Things would begin a fairly brutal domino effect, and factors that would not normally be issues all of a sudden evolved into these massive headaches.
Why?
People are talking about things that not even today in the chat. Marineford, Waco Mundo. But we're not talking about that. It's just, that's fine.
Last of Dressrosa's core problems. As from here, things would begin a fairly brutal domino effect, and factors that would not normally be issues all of a sudden evolved into these massive headaches, such as the very basic idea of
the aesthetics were cool at first.
It's kind of lacking things that other arcs give us.
It's not the most...
Moving on!
Like
moving on! We got your opinion, sir! We're done with One Punch Man.
Or non-binary person. What? We're done with Saitama. They're out of here. You finished. You got to the hero ranking and you out.
First.
It's kind of lacking.
We're not making fun of this individual's appearance. I am a bald man myself.
Dude, why did they have to be wearing the yellow?
The yellow hurts.
The yellow hurts it.
Things that other arcs give us.
It's not the most original of Island.
Oh my...
I don't... Long Road Island was literally just an island. What was Kokoyashi Village except a bunch of buildings with some wood surrounding it? What was Log Town? What was Jaya?
What was Marineford? This is a Spanish conquistador. Got a full arena.
It's a perfectly serviceable town, but as far as One Piece goes, perfectly serviceable is actually kind of disappointing.
Based on what?
Based on what?
Based on what villages, what series, what settings. Thriller Bark is wholly unique and y'all hate it. But really, it's just a bunch of forest.
Outside of the half fire, half ice, it's a laboratory. Punk Hazard is. This is an entire Spain arc with living toys. A full arena. Gladiatorial. Like, what? Comparing it to Whole Cake? Trash.
And then Greenbit, they're right. Greenbit's part of it. That big forest. Like, what are y'all talking about? That big winding forest with all those weird plants? The giant fighting fish that inhabit the island? The bridge that's all torn apart because of them? This is all part of the island.
It's always daytime. It's always the same day.
Oh my God, if I had just 3 panels of night, this would have been so much better.
5 stars. It would have gotten points for me. I would have been like, yeah, time is passing. Now what? What does that do for the story? What does that do for your enjoyment? For night to come?
Everything happens with
giant sunflowers, dwarves, a whole underground shipping facility. Okay.
Is actually kind of disappointing.
It's always daytime. It's always the same day. Everything happens within 24 hours.
It is boring.
At face value, there's nothing wrong with the
Perfect.
island
That's a
of Dressrosa
perfect
itself.
critique. I
It's
got
quite
everything I
beautiful,
need.
Heavily inspired by Spanish architecture and culture and Spain. Look, it's great. I love Spain. I've been to Spain. Here's proof. Look at me. I'm Spaining. In fact, the only issue I can really take with the country is that it's rather unfortunately grounded in the real world, which One Piece more often than not is not. As subjective as this sort of thing tends to be, I would never go so far as to call the island boring. In fact, quite the opposite. It is a stupidly stunning location, but at the same time, if you've gotten this far in the series, then you've seen some pretty beyond phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, we seen some real weird stuff. So what? What's up?
Why does he get to fully explore his opinion?
Because it's his video.
But that's why invite 100 people if you're gonna get snippets of each. You, as soon as you go, yeah, I agree with that person, they're gone.
Dang, I don't even remember what he said. Let me go back.
At the same time, if you've gotten this far in the...
Okay, yeah, the whole... We've seen some great locations. We've also seen some nothing locations.
Yes. Buggy Town was just a town. Like...
Axeham Morgan, that was just a town.
Floating restaurant. It's not all 10-star stuff here. He's gonna mention Shabodi.
What was Drum Island except a snow town? It could have been Denver. What are we talking about? What was Little Garden except a big forest place?
He's gonna mention.
What was Alabasta except a desert?
He's gonna mention the big ones.
He's gonna mention Skypiea. He's gonna mention Thriller Bark,
Shaba
Water
Odi.
7, Washaba Odi.
And we're gonna move on.
Series, then you've seen some pretty beyond phenomenal stuff already. Dressrosa is a dose of heightened reality, whereas the entire proposition of One Piece as a whole is to experience this grand fantastical adventure where we discover dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs in just a forest. We got fighting fish that are more like Sea King than fish.
A gorilla.
And living toys.
A big old ox.
On prehistoric islands, fight gods in the clouds, and dive deep to explore magical underwater cities.
Wow, it's basically Atlantis. Of course that's gonna be magical. What about Kokoyashi Village? What about Long Town?
So is every single island from here on out supposed to be some sort of fantastical thing in order for it to be interesting?
Honestly, what's fantastical about Wano?
What?
Fishman Island. You can say what you want about Fishman Island. Fishman Island looks great.
Wow, it real pretty. It looks great. Not saying nothing about the settings. Nothing. It just looks great. It's just pretty. Isn't Dressrosa pretty?
At first, I never got tired of Fishman Island. I don't give a
Wano is literally old time Japan.
Underwater cities.
Fishman Island. You can say what you want about Fishman Island. Fishman Island looks great.
Fishman Island was so fun and vibrant looking.
Moving on. What did that individual mean? Who's to say? We're gone. See ya.
Desert, which was half fire, half ice. Seeing like, how did that even happen?
We know how it happened. We can't talk about Whole Cake. That hasn't happened yet.
Desert, which was half fire, half ice.
And you're talking about
like,
one of the most inventive locations in One Piece. That's not fair.
Probably in all the manga.
That's not fair.
Compared to the fantasy of...
That building right there looks a lot like the buildings we saw from Dressrosa. What we're seeing right now looks a lot like what we saw the tops of the Dressrosa buildings look like.
I'm dying here. I'm dying.
The Whole Cake Island or the stunning scenery of Ennis Lobby. The Dressrosa's Island isn't like very interesting at all.
I wouldn't.
Stunning scenery and you moved on.
You picked a actual cake versus just a brick building? That looks like Ennis Lobby. You're showing Ennis Lobby because the giant thing in the back.
Yeah, he said Ennis Lobby.
What about
he said Ennis Lobby is good as well.
What is good about Ennis Lobby?
Look at it. I think he said it's pretty.
That even happened
compared to the fantasy of the Whole Cake Island or the stunning scenery of Ennis Lobby.
Stunning scenery. Because of the big giant gate.
Most of the time it's in a single building.
The Dressrosa's island isn't like very interesting at all.
I wouldn't say.
Why is it not very interesting? Oh, I guess we don't get your opinion on that.
It is a building on a waterfall. That's cool. Again, the stuff surrounding it, that's cool. And then what? They go in a building. And we're just in the building, roughly.
It's not very exciting or boring. Like, it is kind of, it's meh.
Which isn't to say that heightened reality never happens or doesn't work in One Piece specifically. I mean, we have Water 7, for example, which is basically Super Venice. But that works very well because we only spent about 40 chapters there before.
Wow, just too long. We just spent too much time here. The novelty wore off.
Yeah, this is just like something else, but we spent less time here. Most of the fights was on a huge cliff, on a bunch of sunflowers, on top of a bit
boarding the sea train.
Oh, and the daytime passed. That's also a good thing about Water 7.
And during those 40 chapters, we saw the island during the day. We saw it at sunset.
No! 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 No!
This is unbelievable, dude. That these people's problems, one of the legit problems they have with Dressrosa is that it is only daytime. That only a day is passing.
Look, we get to see it at sunset. That's a positive.
We saw it at night, we saw it whilst it was on fire, and whilst in the midst of a natural disaster, there was a ton of aesthetic variety. But with Dressrosa, we were there for more than twice as long, and for all intents and purposes, there was only ever one atmospheric setting, being midday sunny afternoon.
Pause. But what about Pika when he peeks over and he just starts destroying stuff? Now that's a scenery change. What about when stuff starts getting destroyed by the birdcage? That's a scenery change if you're counting seeing Water 7 on fire as a scenery change.
At that point, it really doesn't matter
this
how
is
beautiful.
trash.
Does that not look like whole cake? The top of the building's a whole cake? It's fine.
Crafted your setting is, if that's all one is looking.
Wow, look at that place!
That looks very good.
Holy, I don't know what these people are doing.
At for 2.5 years straight, that setting is going to wear out, and
that's for you. No problem for you. No problem here. None.
Risk becoming aesthetically flat, thus adding another element to Dressrosa fatigue because your eyes just need something, anything else to look at. Personally, I remember getting to Zoe and my eyes metaphorically came because we were just being treated something that wasn't Dressrosa.
This is a terrible argument of just like something different. Oh my goodness. Are y'all fine with all the flat nothing feels of Dragon Ball? Man.
Metaphorically came because we were just being treated something that wasn't Dressrosa.
Spain bad.
It isn't something super special.
That's kind of boring to think about.
Not super special, boring.
More boring it got.
Boring.
I can see it getting environmentally boring.
Environmentally boring.
It was a bit for me too, as a reader.
The geography is what I hate most about Dressrosa.
Bruh, it didn't turn to night, so the geography is boring.
I would never do a video like this. This is worthless. All these people are saying nothing. I'm getting nothing from these people other than validating the opinion of in Grand Line Review. I'm saying that it's only daytime. Look at these people saying it's only daytime. I would never have a solid 5 people just like, look, here are 5 pillars in the community, and here's what they think. You know them, you trust them. I don't know this person. He's just saying stuff.
Geographically,
So all of this is kind of wild, because after a while Dressrosa was being compared to Punk Hazard and Fishman Island, and not only that, it was being compared in an unfavorable way, which seemed utterly unimaginable when we were first starting the arc. The thing is, those were not the only arcs at the time that Dressrosa was being frequently compared to, and a big name that we haven't mentioned up until this point just so happens to be...
That is kind of a retread of Alabasta, honestly.
Sure.
I don't like how much it mirrored Alabasta.
Sure.
So
Why not? Why didn't you like how much it mirrored Alabasta?
Okay, we're not getting why these people. We're good.
I hate
undeniable
this.
that there are a lot of
this.
similarities between Dressrosa to Alabasta.
Yep.
One could even say that Dressrosa was an intensified post-time skip version of Alabasta.
One could, and I suppose certainly has now said that. Alabasta, in case you're unaware, was the first properly big climactic arc in One Piece. It had a whole saga of build-up spanning multiple arcs, villains, locations, and is remembered incredibly fondly by the large majority of the fanbase for being that first experience of, peak One Piece. However,
you're just implanting these opinions upon so many people, baselessly.
The reason why this nostalgia-filled arc becomes relevant when talking about Dressrosa is because the two, well, they share quite a few common core features, thus resulting in the overall impression of, hey, haven't I seen that somewhere before? So let us now embark on an exciting journey of Symmetry. Both arcs involve a member of the Seven Warlords who has manipulated an entire nation into loving them. Both antagonists have a wide-ranging crew that ultimately get...
Okay, so if you take away the fact that they're Shichibukai, we're talking about Skypiea so far.
Paired off in 1v1 fights during the climax. Both of them involve a king in crisis with a dead queen.
No king in...
No, the god.
Oh, there is.
Gonfall.
Yep.
I don't know about a queen, but yeah, Gonfall.
And the rightful royal family being hated by a large segment of the population. Both arcs see a princess from said royal family temporarily joining the bad guys' organization. Both have a femme fatale who proves integral to overall victory on
That was the same character. That's fine.
That's fine, you could do that.
The island. And yes, Viola doubles as both the princess and the femme fatale on Dressrosa. There is also another princess, however, in Rebecca, although I think we all know who the true princess of this arc is. It's Law, don't deny it. Anyway,
man, that's
not
not
contain
funny!
a rebel army set on overthrowing the monarchy, led by a relatively young male. In Kuros's case, I guess it's relative to the age of King Riku. He's younger. The key to the operation of both
that's a stretch. Come on now.
This organizations involves an illegal substance on both islands.
Wait, what?
The key to the operation with both villainous organizations involves an illegal substance.
Wow. What? Okay.
On both islands, we feature a marine anti-hero who ultimately relinquishes delivery of justice to the very pirates that he was brought in to stop. And of course, both arcs feature a surprise appearance from an older brother of Luffy who wield the exact same fruit and end up fighting the marine anti-hero on Luffy's behalf. Now, if I was to be particularly sassy, then I would say something like, isn't it weird that the mirror world was first introduced to us on Whole Cake Island when we'd been experiencing it the entire time on Dressrosa? Familiarity definitely exists.
Yeah, who cares
within
about
these core
similarities?
elements.
Who
But
cares?
to be
Legit.
fair, many of these features
care.
are also common across One Piece arcs as a whole, just, not usually so bundled together. Because to be even more fair, you would be hard-pressed to find a story that resembles Alabasta more than Dressrosa. And while there are certainly many key differences that do separate the two arcs, the fact that so many core elements can be compared is just another in a long line of issues that was compounding Dressrosa.
Why is that an issue that it is like another arc that came before it? Sure.
Which, to do a fun little recap, there are now over 100 relevant characters to keep track of. The arc was published over an excruciating 2.5 years. By that point, the setting was getting quite stale, and on top of everything, the story itself was a little bit too on the familiar side for a lot of fans. But here's the thing.
It didn't matter what happened. I was down for the ride. I was down for it 100%.
At this stage, we've been very negative about this whole endeavor thus far, and to be as brutally honest as possible, a lot of what has been said, even by me, can be summed up as old man yells at cloud.
I don't think it's as bad as people say.
It's long.
Why not?
I feel like, I didn't mind.
It is dense and very
This is a
long.
terrible
but at the same time,
video.
I think it took the time it needed to tell its story.
If you want to tell a really good story,
This is
then take
terrible.
the time to tell a really good story.
Dude, what is this? Legitimately, what is this?
There's no such thing as too much One Piece of any sort.
And the thing about length is that nowadays it's an all but irrelevant concern because you can read Dressrosa at your own pace. You're not bound by a weekly release schedule, and if you're feeling a bit bored of a certain part, well, you can just skim and speed up. So rather than say spending months in the corridor Coliseum, you are now spending potentially minutes. And that effectively dispels the problem with the setting as well. That's if you had an issue with the setting in the first place.
The whole setting and everything looked super cool.
Because I have an affinity for Spain and the Dressrosa had like that Spanish flair to it, I was excited about it.
I've been to Spain on holiday a few times and seeing a fantasy take.
Thing bad, but thing also good.
Dude, I don't understand. The setting, it was so tiring. But I didn't mind. It was good to me. Don't name this the Dressrosa Disaster if you're gonna have this positive in it. And let people explain what they mean.
Okay, looks like it's ending, so we gotta.
No, I think as long as you don't finish up,
it's a lot of fun.
I'm saying we have a hard. Now we know how much time.
Together happily.
So what remains? Well, Dressrosa is still undeniably Alabasta-esque, but you could also take that as a grand compliment. I mean, adopting the core elements of one of the most memorable stories in the series and significantly upscaling them sounds like a pretty guaranteed formula for success, even if it is a little bit repetitive. So long as it works, it shouldn't really matter, and that leaves us with one issue.
No, there are not too many characters in Dressrosa.
I think the characters was fine. Not too much. Let me throw up air quotes when I say that.
There's never enough characters. So
this is very much like that AMV. It was just like every minute somebody dies and then it turns to the light side. Every 20 seconds a baby is born.
Man, this format is terrible.
And now it's got this upbeat music that we're supposed to, this is the good stuff.
I think there's too many characters. 10 minutes later, I don't think there's too many characters. Okay, who's right here? We're not getting anybody's perspective, so this is just people tweeting at us. And then somebody else retweeting that tweet, quote tweeting it and going, let me explain why, roughly.
Them all.
And we did indeed come quite close to bringing them all. I mean, there is about 1 billion of them, but so long as these characters are captivating and fun to follow, that should never be an issue. In fact, a whole ton of the most memorable figures in One Piece were introduced during this very arc, leading to a veritable tsunami of new fan favorites.
How can you pick a favorite?
This guy is my favorite.
I'm a Blue Gilly stan.
Elizabello II with his king punch.
Boom! Probably Kairos.
This video.
I don't know if it's Kairos or Kiros.
That is a horrible
Cavendish.
One Piece does not have enough pretty men, and I think there needs to be way more.
Senor Pink.
Senor Pink.
Senor Pink.
Really
Somebody's
do like
correct.
Senior Pink. In this house, we stand Senior Pink. We don't dress like him, though. We don't do that.
So hard-boiled.
Hard-boiled indeed. And not only that, but Dressrosa came packing with some pretty serious power behind it, because if I was to identify one ingredient that could immediately elevate any One Piece arc, then my easy answer would be the addition of a Marine Admiral.
Fujitora is up there as well.
I think he's one of the most interesting admirals.
I think that he offers
We've got 4 admirals that we know about, and you think Fuji is one of the most interesting. Kuzan is way more interesting, whatever his story is going on right now. And Kizaru, I need every morsel of that man.
Yeah, but we know about Fuji, about how his I need to protect the people above all else. Certain things are bad where I'm gonna lie with you. I don't necessarily trust you, Dofi, but hey, whatever.
But you know, you can boil that down to people going, lazy justice. That's all.
Yeah, we got a lot more. We got a lot more about Fuji than we did about Kizaru.
Interesting perspective.
He has seen the world for what it is, didn't like what he saw.
Of all the Marine Admirals, he's the one that seems most concerned with everyone's well-being and actually upholding the law.
He's so cool. I love his character design. I love the way he
I don't know what I was expecting.
And I think his powers are really cool.
At the same time, I think we do know who the unequivocal king of Dressrosa is, and no, it's not Doflamingo or King Riku. No. The biggest breakout presence of this story is in fact fact, a barrier chicken.
Bartolomeo is a really fun one.
Starting out being an a-hole to everyone and being
They were
a
complaining
jerk.
about
I
too many
hated him at
characters.
first, and then he just became like one of the most endearing.
They
funny
complained,
characters.
and then they went, yes, clap,
My man,
please.
Bartolomeo.
Bartolomeo?
Didn't Otis say that he was the embodiment of what he saw as the One Piece fandom?
And it's like, oh, Zoro knows me. It's so great.
Luffy's embark.
It was very relatable.
This
How
is just
could I not love that
superficial,
character?
whatever
He seems to be
arguments.
modeled after us.
No
Dude,
kind of nothing behind it.
It's so
just
superficial.
people talking at you.
It's like going, there's a lot of characters. Dressrosa features a lot of characters. I think it features a lot of characters. There's so many characters. What was the point of this character? I don't know all of these characters. Why are there so many characters? Yes, it did indeed feature a lot of characters. And this is the amount of characters. And then here's the next problem. Yes, that was a problem. I agree it was
The
a problem.
setting, it got too boring.
Dude, what is this?
Is that narcissistic?
Who doesn't love Bartolomeo?
This is just like an appeal to popularity because it's just there are too many characters. Look at all these people saying that there are too many characters.
Like Bartolomeo.
And whilst not liking Bartolomeo may be a demonstrably minority opinion, there is also a great risk with introducing so many characters, particularly if some of them, you know, do fit the description of being hated by one and all. And I'm not pointing fingers at anyone in particular, mostly because I don't think I can draw more attention to Trebol than he already generates simply by existing.
I like
People
Trebol.
hate Trebol. I love Trebol.
Trebol. His dumb voice. He's got a good power, dumb personality. I like Trebol. What's wrong with Trebol? The dub is great. Is the laugh? Like, Dofi was just like, one person is gonna be up here at the top of this building with me, and it's this dude.
Not sugar, nothing.
Trebol? He's a funny dude.
And let's see, maybe they'll explain it.
The most negative thing about Dressrosa?
Trebol. He sucks. I hate him.
I did not like that character at all.
Like, why does he exist? He doesn't do anything interesting.
Booger boy.
Him and his nah still haunt me to this day. I hate that guy.
So I just wanted him to get smacked.
What? Okay. Well, I don't know why I expected an explanation from anything or anybody.
Yeah, you were wrong.
This was just foolish. Why was I so foolish to believe that people will explain why?
I was definitely done with snotmen.
I hate Sabo.
I mean, okay, sure, we were talking about Trebol, but sure, you can insert your Sabo-based opinions. I'll allow it. And even with the odd Trebol thrown into the mix, thus ruining our wonderful character soup, the greatest...
Wow, that looked terrible.
Trebol is great. I don't like... He didn't do a lot. What did he do? The Diamante do?
This video isn't insightful at all and trying to do not opposing opinion. Absolutely. It is just wording at us. It is just look at all these people that you may or may not know saying stuff without substance. And prop up whatever opinion you believe in. If you believe it's too many characters, here's a bunch of people saying too many. If you think it's not enough characters or the characters are fine, here's the people saying that it's fine. Who's right, who's wrong, who cares? Because nobody's getting their point across.
That this critical mass of characters brings is making One Piece feel like a very full world. Think about this, there are over 100 individuals each playing out their own stories on this island in tandem, which results in this insanely organic and rich environment where there is detail and subtlety to be found.
That's a bad thing
It's good and it's bad. It was bad before, now it's good.
Now it's good because I'm saying it's good now. I'm offering no more information either way. It's just up to you to decide.
How is this a documentary?
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're not going into like any editors' interviews or like back behind the scenes. What Oda was thinking during this. Inspirations outside of Spain. Because I think it's Liv Tyler was Diamante's inspiration. It's somebody like that. One of them
Taylor
old rockers.
or something. Yeah, something like that.
Somebody was saying in chat and call me an idiot. And I accept that.
Organic and rich environment where there is detail and subtlety to be found everywhere. At all times...
Detail and subtlety. That's an argument. That's a point to be made.
What did he say?
Organic and rich environment where there is detail and subtlety to be found everywhere.
Detail and subtlety.
There are subtle things in the environment.
The settings got so bored. I'm done with these settings, y'all. But they're detailed and subtle.
But
both are true. Neither are true. One is true here. One is true here.
Please clap. Please subscribe.
At all times, Dressrosa feels less like a narrative and more like a glimpse into a crumbling society. All of which...
What are you talking about? That's basically Alabasta. That's basically Skypiea.
Cyberman, this is absolutely an okie doke. Doubtlessly an okie doke.
5 for 6 in okie dokes during Naruto Month.
Pays off in a literal revolution against our main antagonist. And speaking of,
he is an example of a villain that lives up to the hype.
I'm a guy in the shadows, sneaky guy.
Doflamingo was the person who declared war on all of existence.
In an arc that is very mixed, he's probably one of the strongest elements of it.
I think
Alex Ace is, guys, Dressrosa, am I right?
Whatever your opinion is, you're right.
Dude, that's 1,000,000% what this is.
That video's trash.
I played the Deadly Premonition, Joshua. Not the sequel yet, though.
Flamingo defines the arc.
I swear, if Doflamingo wasn't the main villain, I don't think Dressrosa would be even that good.
This man is the thread that binds the entire
Mingo
arc
is
together.
amazing.
I would go so far as to say that without Doflamingo, Dressrosa would be considered undisputedly the worst arc in all of one.
Are you saying without him, no central antagonist? Are you saying somebody a little worse than him as an antagonist? Or are you saying somebody way worse than him as an antagonist? What are you saying? Are
if you
saying
slide Big Mom into that role, I don't think it's that much worse.
Unless he's just talking about move Diamante up. He's the main dude. Absolutely, it'd be so much worse. But you gotta put somebody
in that area.
In that role. Why is this person on top? Why should we... One Piece is coming to an end now. Why should we listen? Why should we be invested in this dude? Arc 1 is this dude trying to end racism, Pluton, all this other stuff. Arc 2, main developer of Smile and Big Mom's giantification as well. Arc 3 is Doflamingo taking down Kaido subordinate and all that. It's gotta be something. Why should it just be some dude this late into the new world of One Piece as it's coming down?
Slide in Buggy, bro. That would have been amazing if Buggy was stupid strong. Slide that man in, absolutely. That arc would have been 5-star.
Buggy's amazing.
Because if you do examine the stories generally considered to be the weaker installments of the series, one common feature they
Foxy
the
and Silver
Caesar.
The Fox is a 10-star villain. I guess we're just forgetting that he almost dismantled the entirety of the Straw Hats crew. I guess we're just doing that. By his number 1, cunning, number 2, cheating, number 3, busted devil fruit. I guess we're just forgetting that he almost took down the Straw Hats Pirates. He had 2 of them. The most important girl in the world and an amazing doctor. The only person in the world with the human fruit. Foxy was hilarious. Foxy is dumb. He's annoying. He's a piece of... He's self-conscious.
Foxy was great. I need to go back
Foxy is
and read
amazing. I love Foxy. He's hilarious. Foxy. And it's just after Skypiea, it's a nice cool down arc of just fun hijinks with the Straw Hats, which is great because I love these characters. And then you got, here's Aokiji. Oh, he froze Luffy. Luffy might be... What? We were having fun back there. Y'all remember the cotton candy? The little foxy fan pin? Y'all know what?
Caesar is great. Are we just forgetting that this man was just taking people's oxygen out of their lung and knocked Luffy out off of it?
Caesar's busted, put him against a lot of people. But Luffy luckily had a stretchy arm that could punch him from across the room.
Yeah, I'd say Wapple is a worse villain than at least 2 of these.
Yeah.
But Drum Island is beloved, so, we can't use that argument.
I cannot believe Foxy is put in with this. Why is Foxy Hayes?
Well, I can't believe Caesar is either.
We're just moving on. No, we're not talking
Where's
about why
Axeham Morgan?
We're not talking about Axeham Morgan.
Where's honestly Don Krieg? He's straight.
Yeah.
Is a very lackluster primary antagonist. It really does not matter how good everything else may be, it is not the job of Luffy and the Straw.
Was Fishman Island good absent of Hody? Yes or no?
Oh boy.
Was Punk Hazard good absent of your perceived badness of Caesar? Yes or no? Or were they already arcs that you didn't like, and then you also didn't like the villain?
Hats to helm an arc. Instead, it falls almost entirely on the villain in question, and in this regard, Doflamingo delivers a thoroughly compelling, tension-filled, and most importantly, flamboyant experience.
Doflamingo is a beast.
He just screams with confidence in every single scene that he's in.
Doflamingo's a terrible
no
bastard,
reason
man.
to listen to any of these people.
Like you're scared.
Yeah,
the heavenly
3-second snip.
For a reason.
He fulfills his role immaculately.
There are people like him in real life. They like to control. They
Where
like to
are you
possess.
from? Maybe that was
beforehand was a
yeah. They
what's the word?
They
They
probably
don't
just like I don't want to be seen on camera, but
I just like
also
using vocabulary words here.
And no, magnanimous, it may not be the correct vocabulary word to describe the heavenly demon, but a myriad of other M-words do, such as maniacal, Machiavellian, misanthropic, militant, malefic, meretricious, or even medescent, which means to become slightly damp or wet. Moist, if you will, which is yet another M-word, which definitely does apply to Doflamingo in one specific case where he rather haphazardly downed a bottle of wine after having a bit of a scary dream. I mean, just look at this medescent mess of a man. But one of the only M-words that cannot describe Doflamingo in any way is mundane. He's the kind of character who can just stand there and exist, not even say anything, and still be a completely compelling experience.
Anytime he's on the screen or anytime he's on the page, he completely...
So I can just say that about Foxy. You offered nothing in way of an argument, so I can just say whatever as well, and we're both correct with equal amount of evidence.
Zero?
Runs the show.
I really love to hate him.
Doflamingo just looking like this insurmountable force.
I was like, Don Quixote, Doflamingo, I loved his name.
He's always showing off his abs. I really like this.
Doflamingo inhabits an aesthetic league of his own. There is nothing at all like him elsewhere in One Piece, and there was certainly nothing that even came close to rivaling his existence on Dressrosa. He made his mark on this story, and even now, years and years after his narrative relevance.
I was waiting for an explanation. There's nothing like him in this arc or basically all of One Piece.
Trebol?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? In what ways is he different from everybody else? I guess we'll never know with this fluff piece video.
This is pure fluff. We done went through a hit piece and we done went through a fluff piece because this is what
Inaru is very, especially when he's just laying down and throwing up apples and crap like that.
Yeah, I would say Inaru is way more like if he's on screen, there's something engaging going on. A little bit over an hour, yep.
Faded, Doflamingo is still very much in the forefront of our minds.
Definitely one of the most unique villains.
He's my favorite character.
Most great stories have a great villain behind them, and Doflamingo is simply one of the best.
Best villain in the series.
Category who? Kaido, huh? Big Mom what?
According to a Japanese character popularity poll conducted in 2017, Doflamingo was considered to be quite literally the most popular villain in...
Hey, was that during, around, or after the time of Dressrosa? 2013, 2015. Yep, that's probably the latest popularity poll after Dressrosa.
And then after this, they went directly into Zoe, which has Jack, who was basically not a villain. Then they went into Whole Cake, and we did not showcase Big Mom by the time 2017 and this popularity poll rolled around. So Doflamingo was the last big villain that we had to attach to.
At the worldwide polls, was Dofi higher than Katakuri? Because I wonder if Katakuri was higher.
That's a good question.
Or even Kaido or something. Dofi's not that good, you're a liar.
Dofi's great.
Dofi's great. You're a liar.
Great. We're just gonna leave it at that. Final rankings. Here we are. Where's the worldwide? Oh, overall rankings. Okay. Can I search? Find. Let's just check. Yep. Dof.
Oh wait, I saw
Doflamingo is 20. Crocodile is 17. Katakuri is 14. Katakuri is the most popular villain.
Okay then.
By 6 points.
Okay then.
In all of One Piece, as well as the 17th most popular character overall. And 4 years later, in the most recent World
We should have just waited.
100 poll, this popularity is still going strong as he ranked in 20th place. And that is Dressrosa.
But who was over him?
No, we're just not going to mention that.
Rosa's greatest element of salvation. This arc, as a weekly experience, survived on the goodwill generated by this here phenomenal Flamingo. And not just that, it also persisted through the skilled writing and creativity of Eiichiro Oda. Because for as long as it may have taken, I almost never hear people criticize the actual story overall. Just a selection of the individual elements it took to put together. And that is...
How many people did you hear say it was boring?
The environment was boring.
No, they said the story was boring. This I don't know if they edited this a Grand Line review, but people said it was boring.
A huge credit to Oda as mangaka because
they said it when it was going on too long.
Degree of trust and appreciation between the author and the readers. Dressrosa was an ambitious piece, but come September 28th, 2000.
Can we stop using the word ambitious?
You're taking away too many words.
Okay.
We need words.
I understand, but use the words correctly. Because One Piece as a whole is ambitious. Everything you do is ambitious. Dressrosa is not more or less ambitious than like Whole Cake or in Water 7.
I'm mad that I reread Dressrosa for this.
Dude, legit.
Almost none of my knowledge.
Legit. We reread Dressrosa because we're like, all right, we don't want to be wrong about any points we're about to make. We want to be able to argue against what they said. Hey, the setting's pretty boring. I agree it can get boring. It's only 24 hours.
They're just really not saying much in general. Without all these people, this video would be like 20 minutes long.
If even.
And then even then...
Because how much is Grand Line Review actually talked?
Even their Grand Line Review isn't saying that much.
2015, Oda had done it. The final chapter was published and the experiment was over. Manga readers collectively breathed a sigh of relief as well as expressed a retrospect.
Why are you implanting that on everybody? Manga readers collectively. Did you poll everybody? I was a weekly reader back then. I do not remember any kind of Dressrosa fatigue. The only fatigue I got was during the Law backstory because I do not particularly care about Law. And that happened right before the big fight between Mingo, Law, and Luffy. I'm like, yo, come on.
Yo, come on.
That was
appreciation for the experience. The highs and lows of which had only brought us closer together as
a... So this kid just hit my remote and put me on Disney Plus instead of what we were doing. Why are you playing with my remote?
It happens.
It literally.
I'm bored of this video. my hands gotta wander.
Effective appreciation for the experience. The highs and lows of which had only brought us
closer together
Mulan. To this day, I can speak to any older One Piece fan, and as soon as you so much as say the word Dressrosa, it results in this like instantaneous bond. Dressrosa.
Wrong. I'm one of them.
Any One Piece fan. You can just say that and just go, ooh, yeah, Dressrosa wasn't that good across the board.
This sounds very much like people's former Skypiea thoughts.
But the disaster was far from over. In fact, one could say that this entire adventure thus far was
anime stuff.
A prologue to disaster.
Anime stuff.
That was
We're talking anime stuff. I do not care.
Navigator
oh my goodness, so long, so drawn out, bad animation.
What would happen if
We're
this
done
exact
here.
Same adventure was given to a less competent navigator?
No, it's not good. It's not good at all.
I can't.
First point here, I did not watch anything. I am a manga supremacist, and don't you forget it.
Cool. Noted. But for everyone else, I have another simple question. Do you think that Toei Animation adapted the Dressrosa arc well?
No.
No.
It didn't?
No.
No.
All right, we're going to be skipping forward.
Was that?
This doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
This is
what
I don't
now,
care
it should
about
be
these
noted that
arguments.
the generally poor opinion of the One Piece anime had existed long before animation and pacing. There's that word again. Pacing. Problematic little...
Yeah, okay.
That it should have been that long.
The anime took every little aspect.
Sorry, people, but I don't care. We don't care about
existed
animation.
in a perfect
This
form.
is
Anywhere
well
from 2 to
known
3
that the pacing is quite
fine
poor.
and shaky. People have already
Pacing still poor though. But we can talk about this right now though. The pacing is still poor in Wano, but my God, is it pretty? So who cares? That's the correct way to experience these in story now, right? Cause my God, is it pretty?
People bumming out.
What is the difference except pretty? You tell me.
People bumming out.
So if Dressrosa looked like Wano, y'all would be clapping. Who cares if it takes longer? Clap, cause I'm telling you this right now. We're not getting chapter 1,000 being episode 1,000. That's not happening. We're not hitting episode 1,000 to probably 1,013 in the anime. But my God, it's the definitive way to experience Wano now. Clap pretty.
Crippling problem here. Because if you continue to adapt 2 to 3 chapters a week all year round, you will eventually catch up to and even over...
And whatever.
Half of the entire episode.
Frankly, I think the manga is obviously a lot faster and like.
This is terrible.
Complete. The anime was able to achieve the same story with one on an average of 0, close to having as many episodes as there are manga chapters, let alone having more episodes. It is at the point where it's quite legitimately impressive just how slowly Toei managed to go. Like imagine you're in a parked car. You're not...
Oh, Jesus.
0 point...
This is taking a long time.
Era, we often replayed entire scenes from the prior episode. In effect...
Oh, Jesus.
Like watching the dialogue equivalent of a Buto.
Yeah, Wano also be spoiling stuff, and that's not a very good thing.
The final blow.
Final beam clash. And for a fairly artificially inflates the difficulty of a clash at hand for either combatant or even both, and a great way to equate the false or the next character speaks. It's like watching the dialogue equivalent of a Buto play, because dialogue heavy scenes that should take a minute or less can often end up extending into slow, dragged out 5-minute tests of endurance. And heavy action scenes are not immune from this either, because also in the filler toolkit is a feature I like to call the false struggle. This is where the anime artificially inflates the difficulty of a clash at hand for either combatant or even both, and a great way to equate the false struggle is to a classical Dragon Ball Z energy beam clash.
People love it.
For a fairly egregious Dressrosa example, we need look no further than the final clash between Luffy and Doflamingo, the King Kong Gun.
The final blow against Doflamingo is one thing I hate about the anime, is that it made it like an actual like struggle. Like Doflamingo is like and Luffy's
They do the same thing in Wano. They did it in Kaido. Kaido's supposed to beat the shit out of Luffy in the manga. But nah, clap.
Pretending to be Viola. You know, the illusion is as good influences of the character. Where in the manga, Viola has a clear, determined emotional intent, the anime makes it deliberately slow.
Which still
was in charge of putting of someone who quite frankly knows what they're talking about. So I was lucky enough to find Brian Newton, who is a director extraordinaire of Rick and Morty, as well as a certified One Piece fanatic, and he was kind enough to give his opinion on this whole Dressrosa schmozzle.
By and large, I thought the animation was fine. One difference that I've been told is the fact that in Japanese animation, the artist usually has a lot more autonomy over their work than in American animation production. In Japanese animation, the hand of the artist is very important. One Piece specifically is difficult because there's such a range of style, and Oda himself doesn't rely too much on character formula.
I'm interested in
those
what
massive crowd shots or war sequences or battles or panels like that. It's easy to do one panel and just go nuts. But while in the anime, you have to fill out that time to have feel the emotional weight of friends attacking friends, lovers attacking lovers in this melee, and that takes time and effort themselves. And I actually think a lot of those sequences to convey convey that sense of dread. They did a pretty remarkable job conveying that under their initial time constraints. Every arc and every animation production has its like highs and lows, and even within One Piece, even the most current stuff, I can point to several examples where maybe the strength of the animation or compositing isn't what it should be or what it could be. But I don't think Dressrosa was uniquely bad.
And why would you not ask this individual to provide any sort of examples so that you can showcase it on screen instead of showing Robin funny face and Zoro funny face? Wouldn't that make the argument better by going, look, even this amazing animation in Wano has problems, but you just show funny Robin face. You couldn't even look up bad animation Wano, bad screenshot Wano.
Any scenario, what you're responding to, and this is something that we all keep in mind, is not just about the animation, it's about the story that's being told, whether that's compelling to you or not.
So that's a much more empathetic and insightful look into the anime adaptation, but I think what Brian says at the end there is extremely important. Overall, what we're responding to is the story being told. We don't watch or read media for the sake of gawking at technical proficiency, or at least most of us don't, and that is both a detriment and a benefit for Dressrosa. In terms of detriment, the times where we are not responding in the anime are more than likely the times when we weren't particularly responding with the manga either. The anime just definitely highlights those times on a much more brutal and naked stage. However, on the flip side, in many cases the story itself is actually good enough to overlook the anime's issues, and while they were certainly a minority, there were a lot of fans who expressed their love for Toei's adaptation.
With the anime, it was
how
good. Which is universally despised, and that would be
Rebecca flashback.
Not universally despised. I liked it too. Was fine with it.
It's truly awful. It puts me off watching it every time.
It's not a bad flashback. In fact, it's quite good. But I think I've seen it more times than any of the Straw Hats flashbacks combined.
We're just seeing the same flashback over and over and over and over.
Oh, this is an anime problem.
So many flashbacks.
So it got to the point every time I saw the Rebecca flashback, I just...
Yeah, of course. I mean, who doesn't love the Rebecca flashback? That's my favorite show.
Quiz time. Again.
This is more anime.
A brave Grand Fleet member by the name of NYM2606, which I think is much more of a license plate. Count how many times the one time being singular, and that's a pretty big discrepancy. But by the way, if you did not guess either 45 or relevant story. And like most anime issues, this is not a Rebecca or even a Dressrosa exclusive problem, but we have never seen anything even close to this scale of repetition. It's at the point
it was annoying from being repeated 10 million
of the situation isn't so much that they
people's issue is that it's just repetitive and it happens too much.
Oda's biggest misfire in his tenure.
The problem with the flashback is that it happened a lot in the anime. So they would flash back to it for even just 20 seconds, but it was only one flashback in the manga. They just kept going back to it in the anime. That's people's issues. It happened too much in the anime.
Writing One Piece.
Like every time I saw Rebecca, I was like, get off the screen.
Rebecca's the worst princess we've had.
I don't care about Rebecca.
And Rebecca's kind of annoying.
I get it. She's
care
young.
about
I get
y'all.
It, she lost her mama. I get it. She lost her daddy. Come on.
Is this an argument? I don't care about
y'all.
y'all.
Doing a whole Rebecca section in this video, and to give you a taste of how this juicy sausage was made, I put together a questionnaire and I asked people to submit their video responses to it. There were no questions.
That's
about
what
Rebecca.
it was. Terrible.
When recording your answers, please either state the question number or rephrase the question in your response. These responses may be as long as short as you need, as you like, although concise is preferred. You may record your answers either as audio only or as a video response. Video is preferred, and priority may be given to those with video as well as clear audio. For audio, please either send recording as MP3 or WAV file. And for videos, MP4 is preferred, and please send a single file as opposed to multiple files. When complete, upload your audio video to Google Docs. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for your time. Were you hyped to start watching Dressrosa?
Wow.
Why? Is Dressrosa too long? Are there too many characters in Dressrosa? What is the worst part of the arc? Was it a well-paced arc?
Just went trouble?
Do you think the anime adapted Dressrosa well? What do you think of Doflamingo as a villain? Who was your favorite secondary character introduced during the arc? What was the best part of the arc? Is Dressrosa one of the best arcs in One Piece? What is the most positive thing you could say about Dressrosa? What is the most negative thing you could say about Dressrosa?
Wow.
What is this video?
Oh my, 14 questions spread over 100 YouTubers or just random people.
There were no questions about Rebecca specifically, like about her character, her design, her role in the arc, etc. But despite that, people en masse chose to volunteer a lot of information in regards to their Rebecca-related feelings.
Why is she dressed like that? She's 16.
Armor.
Yes, it's a terrible design.
Yes, it's a really bad design.
I only have head canon of what it is, but Oda never states it's just horny on main stuff. It's a terrible design.
Between 14 questions, including some of them talking about the best parts, the worst parts, your favorite characters, least favorite characters, people are going to mention Rebecca. This is not surprising.
That a Coliseum fighter would bother wearing any armor.
Luffy explicitly says, why are half of these people half naked? So yes, the gladiators in the Coliseum, men and women, do dress like that.
There's a weight limit for armor.
So to say that a gladiator wouldn't dress is empirically wrong, because even in our world, the gladiators have shields, helmets, and were mostly naked.
Rebecca was the only princess fought and trained. That is correct.
Is she dressed like that? She's 16.
Armor. That a Coliseum fighter would bother wearing any armor when 90% of their body is armor.
I think the thing that ticks me off the most about it is that it has the gall to pretend like it's
armor.
Can't even look at her without laughing.
I think she was just there for eye candy.
So it makes
yeah, no, we got it.
sense that she's dressed like a Roman stripper.
Dressrosa? Well, like undress Rosa. What?
Now with that said, character design is a fairly forgivable area, especially in One Piece where we get all sorts of wacky crazy stuff thrown at us. But when Oda feeds us that, or feeds us anything, he's actually got to do something with that character to make them worth our while, which didn't, exactly happen.
What part of this says that Rebecca was wearing armor? Who in Dressrosa said that Rebecca was wearing armor? Who stated that she was wearing armor? She had a helmet and a sword, and basically cloth. Because, as I said, a lot of the people in the Coliseum were roughly this. Now, again, it is absolutely a terrible design. What were you doing, Oda? But this armor argument, I don't understand. If you just look at the other people there. And it was never said to be armor.
With Rebecca.
For as much time as they spent fleshing out the backstory, they should have done more with Rebecca.
She's not that important. Like, Vivi is very important.
Important to how? The screaming, stop fighting? I guess that part?
Do more in what fashion?
What did Shirahoshi do? At the end with the Sea Kings, I guess? Like, what are we meant to do? Do something for the story? Like, I don't know what you mean. And y'all can't explain because y'all get 13 seconds overall in the entire video to say some
Shirahoshi was very important.
And then as the arc went on, her character just flopped.
Rebecca is just whiny, cry all the time.
Rebecca is a 16-year-old girl that is hated by the entire f***ing city, and she bears it all by biting her lip and not hurting anybody in the Coliseum, but still winning.
She has one person that she cares about.
And he's going off to die.
And she's going, I want that Mero fruit to prevent the death of that toy.
I'm sorry, a 16-year-old girl that is hated by literally everybody and constantly talked about and constantly hated on is crying a lot when she's alone, not around people, because when the gladiators talk about her around the area, she just bites her lips and bears it. But the second she's around somebody she can be emotional with, she is emotional.
Yeah, but boobs and thumbs down.
The story doesn't even allow her the dignity of making a single decision for herself.
She decides to be a gladiator and not hurt people and to win the fruit.
The toy soldier went, look, we got a plan. We're going to take down Doflamingo. And she goes, no, I am going to fight in this Coliseum. And she goes, you're not my father. And he goes, well, I see. I'd still like you to not fight as he's walking away. She chose to fight in the arena.
And then at the end, she runs away with him, making her own decision.
Whoops!
Presence was just super annoying to me.
Rebecca as a concept is nothing new to One Piece. In most arcs involving some sort of kingdom or kingdom-like entity, there will be a princess who needs help. It's just a thing that happens. In fact, it happens so much that I've even coined a term called the princess prop, which denotes a One Piece character whose role is to fulfill this primary technical function. But even then, Rebecca takes the princess prop concept to a whole new level, because as an individual, she does absolutely nothing. It's not like Vivi desperately struggling to save Alabasta, it's not like Shirahoshi facing her fears to save Fishman Island, and it's not like Hiyori doing, actually, what is Hiyori doing? I don't know. It's probably something though. Whereas Rebecca
it's probably, what is she doing? I don't know, but it's probably something. So that's fine over there. She's not doing anything, but she's probably doing something.
As an almost literal prop. She is a thing to inspire Luffy to fight, she is a thing for her father Curious to protect, and she has no impact on the events of the arc outside of how she makes others feel about her. That sort of bland role combined with a fairly generic coded design has made Rebecca one of the least popular focal elements to have ever been in.
Wow, dude. She doesn't do anything. And now we hate her for that? That's unbelievable. That's very Dragon Ball side characters of, oh my god, they suck because they don't do anything. What about what she does? What they do? Do y'all get this? Do y'all know how many times Rebecca tried to fight in that fight with Diamante? But Kiros went, hey, I'm here now, and you bared all this weight.
Do not fight. And now you will never have to fight again.
Never again. You bared all this weight. You struggled alone. And now you'll never have to lift a sword again because I'm here. He prevented her from fighting that entire time.
And she is also not a very good fighter because she was not taught offensively. She was taught primarily defensively. So she just trips people using their momentum. There is no way that she could conceivably beat Diamante. Would I like to have had her assist? Absolutely. But as for beating him, nah, it ain't happening.
Introduced in One Piece. And that's another thing that compounds the problems with Dressrosa, because we now have, 118 episodes where we are relying heavily on Rebecca's story for any kind of emotional resonance, because she is the heart of the arc, or at least one of the hearts.
Okay, she's the heart of the arc. Actually, one of the hearts.
But she wasn't one of the main three characters, right? She wasn't one of the main three characters we actually needed to pay attention to, right?
And we have to care about her.
But she's the heart of the arc.
We have to care about her for all 108 episodes.
18.
And 18. As Don Ching Zhao is fighting Lao Ji, we have to be like, yo, but Rebecca.
Thankfully, the arc does also have Law and Rocinante to do the heavy lifting in that regard. Otherwise, even in the manga, the implementation of Rebecca could have resulted in an even bigger disaster. And just to bring this back to the anime, this is the character that Toei chose to bombard you with about 47 more times, would you say, than was necessary for the actual story? It was a poor decision, no doubt, but it was one that was made under a series of already well out of control circumstances. Dressrosa was a high-pressured experimental affair for everyone involved.
What do you mean?
Please.
They're about to go.
I have to, because this is the second time they said experimental. Experimented in what way? I need to know this.
Be it Oda, Shueisha, Toei, as well as the readers and watchers of One Piece. But I'll tell you what.
Nope, they didn't explain it. Okie doke. Legit? How was it experimental? What was experimented with?
I'm like, oh look, they're showing Oda, Toei, and Shonen Jump. We about to get some. No, I guess not. I'm like, oh, we jumped the gun with that pause. Let's let them talk. Nah, nothing.
You know what's?
It's just experimental. Moving on.
You know what's experimental? Some of the character designs in Wano, because it's really old timey Japanese stuff.
Yeah,
the women got the real like slanted faces and stuff. That's experimental.
Kinemon's wife.
That's experimental. What was experimental in Dressrosa for Shonen Jump? For Toei.
This is absolutely an
even for Oda.
Absolutely.
And for the readers.
And for the readers.
It was an experiment for the readers. There's no way he didn't explain this. Hold up.
Story. It was a poor decision, no doubt, but it was one that was made under a series of already well out of control circumstances. Dressrosa was a high-pressured experimental affair for everyone involved, be it Oda, Shueisha, Toei, as well as the readers and watchers of One Piece. But I'll tell you what, the one thing I don't think any of us expected to come from this situation is...
Those don't mix together.
Dressrosa Monopoly. Not to be confused with One Piece Monopoly, which also exists. No, this bad boy here is specifically Dressrosa. On the back it even says, welcome to Dressrosa, and in this incarnation of the game, you buy characters instead of property. Which I'm not gonna lie is just a little bit strange, because when the other players land on your characters, you then rent that character to that player. So it's much less about conquering the property market, and more about building the best and most expensive of One Piece based brothels. You can also mortgage the character as well, so if
we got it. We know the rules of Monopoly.
Then you can just sell him into debt for a cool 130 Monopoly monies. And there's all sorts of stupid chants and community chests, which are called flags and chests, but my favorite one is the Don Quixote family force you to renovate your buildings. Ah, Doflamingo, that fiend! How dare he force us to upgrade our standard of living? And look, novelty Monopoly is nothing new to, well, anything, but it is quite stunning that this Dressrosa edition exists at all. Although it does make a lot of sense when you think about it. There was no specific demand for a Dressrosa Monopoly, I can assure you of that. It's just that for an awfully long time, One Piece and Dressrosa were entirely inseparable concepts. The manga began serialization of the arc on March 4th, 2013.
2 years it was
inseparable. Not air Dressrosa's final episode until June 19th, 2016. So for a grand total of 4 marches over 3 years across 2 mediums, we were stuck in this one day. So no wonder when Hasbro were looking for a new Monopoly set, they thought to themselves, what's One Piece? Oh, you mean the Dressrosa show? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go with that one. So look, at the very least, Dressrosa did give us this wonderful historical artifact, but that's definitely not all.
Please, Oda, give us the juice. Oda learned from that. Because immediately after, we go to Big Mom's arc, which is almost as long or is around the same.
No, we don't.
Okay. Oda learned from Dressrosa. He went, my God, Dressrosa did not work. Or did he go, my God, the fruits of the things I've set up before are finally coming to fruition?
Zoe was after Dressrosa.
Absolutely.
And that was about 30 chapters. That was not immediately after.
How to tell a large story. I think Oda has to try not to exhaust viewers.
I feel he's
exhaust them like how? Because this is just as long, if not longer, and y'all not exhausted. What did he do?
These pieces of crap. Big Mom got what, 60-something kids?
Yes.
Okay, so we're already on 60-something kids.
Doing it better now in Wano arc.
And I think he learned how to do that in Dressrosa.
Dressrosa was an experiment in long-form manga storytelling, and for all of the negative aspects...
It was an experiment in long-form manga storytelling, apparently. What evidence are you citing? Who's to say? No evidence cited. It just was.
That we have stated ad nauseum in this video, that experiment produced incredibly valuable results, which have gone on to serve the subsequent mega arcs of the series, being Whole Cake Island and Wano. Both of these take a very active effort to address almost every issue that became glaringly...
Too many characters?
Too many characters, yep. There's a dude with a giraffe for a butt. He is a character.
Don't remember his name at this point.
Most of them have like card-based names, card games and whatnot.
apparent in Dressrosa. Take setting for example. Instead of a single location, Whole Cake Island takes place in a greater empire of islands. The locations vary pretty radically from island to island, then there's also the seducing woods, the tea party atop Whole Cake Chateau, the entirely separate and
Hey, how long did this take?
We got Dressrosa, the city itself, the Coliseums, the Tontatta's land, the underground, the cave side where they fought, the
factory where Frankie and Senior Pink fought,
the factory, the sunflowers, the top of the building that they fought on,
and Sunny where they fought,
and on the Sunny. Oh, and also that weird forest place over there, the green bit. That's 10 separate places.
How long were they in Whole Cake? Like a day and a half? Maybe 2.
But it turned night.
There
you go.
Mirror World, and in fact, a lot of the arc climax takes
okay,
place
that's
at sea.
top
so Oda
5
is always changing the setting of the action just enough to avoid that
10 locations in
terms of
Dressrosa
time,
County.
rather than a single day. Wano so far has taken place over the course of several weeks, which even at its slowest, and it gets pretty slow, still feels like we're making progress because we are not frozen in the same.
We're making progress because the days change.
Yep.
Y'all cannot be serious.
Yep.
Isn't Thriller Bark like half the length of Dressrosa? And doesn't it take place over a single night?
I don't know about length, but it is absolutely a single night. Couple
What
hours.
is this?
Terrible. Non-arguments.
Hour, maybe even the same minute of the same day. And as for the characters, well, whilst Whole Cake Island and Wano feature an undoubtedly larger cast than Dressrosa, they are integrated and introduced at a more merciful and narratively pleasing.
Pause. Wow. Yeah, they got just as many characters, but they're introduced at a much better pace. What are you talking about? The people that we care about, we are introduced, we are established, everything that we need. Same thing in Whole Cake, so same thing in Wano.
When did we get introduced to King Riku?
He was underneath his mask in the Coliseum. He got beaten, and then he was struggling to get up. Then they went down the hole, and he was unmasked. We had all that set up as him with just a gladiator. Cavendish was shown as a ladies' man, shown to his motivations, why he's chasing after Luffy and the Straw Hats and all that, his personality, his past, all that stuff. You know who we didn't get that for? The Funk Brothers. You know who we shouldn't care about? The Funk Brothers.
You know who we do care about? The Funk Brothers. I love the
Funk Brothers. They're great.
But like, okay, when was Pika introduced? When was Baby 5? I don't mean just introduced. I mean actually there. Not just on the screen going, Baby 5 is around here.
Punk Hazard.
Not but Baby 5. Senior Pink.
He showed up the first time. It was just like, once we get up to a certain level, we'll have to start fighting. Once they were in the Coliseum, it was like, we'll have to start fighting Doflamingo's
and they were on the screen.
One of them was Senior Pink.
Actually introduced.
Later, he just showed up like, hey, I'm guarding here.
When was Sugar introduced? When was Pika introduced? When were these characters introduced? Because you got the 27 in the Coliseum all roughly introduced around the same time. But what about everybody else? A little before, a little after. Some way after. Sabo don't come till way after. I hit the wrong button.
Pace. And we are at the point now where Oda has seriously tightened and almost perfected this mega arc formula, which is a stage we never would have been able to achieve.
What do you mean he perfected it? What do you mean?
Because Wano's better. Because Whole Cake's better.
It just is better.
It just is better.
The characters were
because
introduced
Oda learned
spaced
how
out
to use 24 hours in a day. That's why they were better. We didn't get in Wano just a whole introduction of like 9 new people right before the raid started. Oh wait, we absolutely did get that.
without our initial Dressrosa experiment.
Dressrosa was an arc that needed to happen.
There was definitely some creative juices flowing.
It was one of the key turn points in the story.
It made the world of One Piece even bigger than what it was before.
Every island does that.
Oh my goodness.
These people suck.
Practice in this arc really served to make the next few on Whole Cake Island and now
Sugar
Wano
Soda, man.
really stand out in terms of their continuity and reading ease.
So for everything it took, Dressrosa did pay back its narrative debt with interest. So much so that half a decade later, I think there's a great retrospective appreciation for it. And not just the good aspects, but also the bad ones, because a healthy dose of controversy is always fun.
The thing about controversy is it brings the community together to talk about it.
It sparks so much discussion, and I think that's incredible, and that's the best thing a piece of
What
fiction
doesn't
can
spark
do.
discussion?
Is Dressrosa one of the best arcs in One Piece? Yeah, I think so. I honestly do think so.
No. Simply no.
And I'm ready to argue that it is the best arc of the series.
You can have a debate.
Jesus Christ, pause.
Best.
Oh no.
So they said that it sparked discussion. I looked up Abdullah and Jeet Reddit. There are three separate posts about Abdullah and Jeet. Come on now. Inspiration behind Abdullah and Jeet. Unit 33 discussion, Abdullah and Jeet. Funk Brothers and Abdullah and Jeet. Come on now. People are talking about Abdullah and Jeet. Anything can spark discussion. It's not special.
It's not special.
10, yeah, sure.
I don't think it's top 10.
It would be like number.
Dressrosa's not top 10. I don't know what arcs y'all watch.
Okay.
15. I still think it's one of the best story arcs that One Piece has to offer.
It's the best.
I think it's great. It's not one of my favorites, but it's nowhere near one of my favorite arcs.
Without a doubt, my favorite arc in all of One Piece.
It's very impressive for a piece of media
I don't
to
think
be
we
that
ever saw that
polarizing.
I guess whatever he was saying, those other 13 questions weren't good enough.
Because it means that it strikes an intriguing balance of high highs and low lows, enough to conjure every available.
Wait.
All of One Piece.
It's very impressive for a piece of media to be that polarizing.
Baz v Soups is that polarizing.
The Last Jedi. We're not just talking about polarizing being intriguing. That's not
because it means that
anything.
It strikes an intriguing balance of high highs and low lows, enough to conjure every available human emotion to respond to it.
Almost every piece of media.
That's
What's
an
the most
argument.
popular and most critically praised thing out? And you will find somebody going, "This is trash.
This is great. This made me cry. This made me laugh. This made me emotional. This is not
Which is
an
why
argument."
we're still talking about it to this very day.
We're still talking about everything One Piece to this day.
Abdullah and Jeet.
And it wasn't that long ago. It was 6 years ago.
And it had an amazing villain. And it was the introduction of Gear 4.
Available human emotion to respond to it, which is why we're still talking about it to this very day, because it's always interesting to discover a new individual's personal take on the arc. So I sat here and I watched people talk about Dressrosa for almost an entire day all up, and at no point did it get boring, because everyone had such a unique perspective, and more
Well, I guess we're not privy to those unique perspectives.
It ups the scales.
It had.
I guess we don't get to see them.
And it fulfilled a lot of different things.
When I have like a
It
flashback
fulfilled
to
a lot
Dressrosa,
of different
I
things.
couldn't be happier
Thank
with the type
you.
of things that we got.
It's got something for everyone. Backstories are really good.
Awesome fights.
So many characters, so many factions.
You get to follow all these different storylines.
Everything was just unexpected, but it was great.
It's a really good arc.
It was done pretty well.
Very well made. Very engaging from start to finish.
And it just shows how good of an author Oda is.
So Dressrosa may very well have been a disaster to read at the time, as well as a disaster to watch at the time, and an undisputed disaster of a Monopoly set. It is a bad game, do not play it. But despite all of that, it was still One Piece. And even at its worst, it is still far and away the greatest manga series of all time. Really, Dressrosa only looks bad when compared to other installments of One Piece. And in that context, what's not to love about the arc?
Dressrosa was just a roller coaster ride, where it had its ups, it had its downs.
It was fun.
Definitely.
Very exciting. I was super excited because it was really good. It was just really good.
It's good mediocre.
It was still dope, super lit, and based, if you want to call it that.
I feel like the arc just hits that sweet spot, you know?
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
It gave me Doflamingo.
We received an amazing and emotional flashback.
Yeah, what happened
from
to
Law.
Big Fizz?
I was just about to say that. I was literally just about to say that.
Really good enjoyment about it.
I still think it's great. If I rewatch it 10 times, it'll still be great.
10 out of 10.
Maybe
I
an
love it
anime,
so
yeah.
much.
But I loved it. I loved every second.
Funny Face might have been an animation.
Claps to Dressrosa indeed, and claps to everyone who took the time to submit their Dressrosa opinions. There are well over 100 amazing One Piece fans featured in this video, and it was a pleasure to get to know each and every one of you. So I am now going to end the longest video.
Check the description. I want to see if they're listed in there or anything.
All right, we're almost done with the
my life by dramatically cutting out all of the lights. It's going to be magical. So cue magic in 3, 2, 1. Magic! I forgot about the monitor. That's alright, we can fix this. We're just gonna casually turn down the brightness and cut to credits. Bye.
Okay. Hello there. Popular One Piece historian Grand Line Review has put out a request, and I'm answering it.
If you do like an intro thing with like waving and you
My answer and just go with no.
I don't care.
Negative 11. I was looking for that one that slots in between the Hall of Fame and the negative 12. This is it. This is worthless. This is a bunch of people that I do not know, do not care, do not know their perspectives on anime or as a whole, and on One Piece as a whole, just saying stuff randomly in snippets. It is overly long. Who would want to watch this? What do you get from this?
Hey, you know
you
what's
get a
funny?
bunch of people saying stuff to you.
This documentary is overly long. It did not need
There
to
was
be
no okie doke like you said.
There was no positive okie doke.
Not even smart enough to do that. At least give me like totally not Mark. Cause he likes One Piece. He's past Dressrosa. You telling me he didn't have something to say? This was cheeks.
This was cheeks.
This was really, really bad. This was substantiveless.
Spread the cheeks. Open the cheeks.
This is just people talking in snippets.
This is basically going, the setting's bad? I agree. No, I don't agree. Why? Oh, we can't explain. We're not going to explore that.
Big components of explain yourself.
Yeah, this is Hall of Fame.
And we got 100 people not explaining themselves back to back to back.
Or they did, and he just cut it out. It just went like, here's everybody agreeing with what I just said, and now let me explain it a little bit, and that is it.
Yes. Yeah, and stuff like lasted for a day equals bad. Stuff like that. What do you get from that? What can you say to that? Oh, okay. Like a day and a night cycle, them going like, yo, the raid on Doflamingo Castle starts tomorrow. Let's go back and rest up. And then it goes to the next day. What does that do for you?
I get to see Dressrosa at night.
It's trash.
It's trash.
Now, I'm not saying I want to see Totally Not Mario. I'm asking. At least that would be a familiar face because we got a legend, legend dude, and that was about it. That's about all the people that I know. Otherwise, it was just some people. Some people. And I'm like, oh, I guess they got an opinion on Dressrosa. It was boring. Moving on. Okay, thank you, individual. It's a fluff piece. It's nothing.
This was angering. Get ready with y'all questions, by the way. Yeah, it's Hall of Fame for me.
That was really, really bad.
Yes. This was the okiest of dokes. Because it was barely even about a disaster of in Dressrosa, because they talk so much about the positive stuff. Why do we watch these videos hurting yourself? Because this is what we've always done. It's fun. Except when it's not. This is one of the ones that's not. And it's not fun because it's not anything.
Yes.
I really bad is fun.
This is nothing. And I personally really like to see people's perspectives, how they analyze things, how they talk about things. it's good to see that, just to be like, yo, you're not explaining yourself. And do you think it's good that you're not explaining yourself? Do you think it is good that you're just covering up all this stuff and just going, hey, whatever, that's fine? Do you think that's quality?
I am very big into discourse. When I was talking to the creator of the Naruto video, Mike Yubi, I was like, he was like, why would you engage in a video that you don't like the series about? And I said, because I like the discourse. I like hearing why people like it and agreeing or disagreeing with it. Yes, like when it came to Mike Wiz, Math Wiz, when it came to Math Wiz, she said that something about Neji, and I was like, I agree with that. Oh, the contradiction of Neji. I was like, I agree with that. Okay. There are times we agree with the stuff, but for the most part, it is big trash, and it's fun to talk about big trash thing. Watch I Frankenstein with some friends, y'all. Yeah, this was big trash. Thoughts on openings and endings in anime manga? There's some really good ones. There's some really bad ones. The last like 2 My Hero ones, I don't know what they're doing. They're big stink.
Unless I really, really like them, I usually just skip them. There's some that I really like, or if I'm marathoning them, once in a while I'll just go, how did I feel about that? And I'll go back and just listen to it once the next episode starts. Yeah, I got a whole lot. I've got like a playlist of my music that I'm just like, I don't need to skip this stuff. They're all bangers. And there's a bunch of openings and endings in there. Love openings and endings. Mm-hmm. So long as they're good. There's a lot of just man out there.
Top 5 Hunter x Hunter characters. Vacuum Girl.
Vacuum Girl. First Arc. Hisoka. Hisoka, of course.
Oh, Hisoka's in there.
First
Meruem?
Meruem and Komugi.
I throw them
I'll
in
put
there.
Them both in there.
Okay.
We got one more.
Palm.
We got 5. Palm. Not a very chunky list.
Boy, if you would have hit even 7, we would have been sweating.
Vacuum Girl is just like, she's just like mindless, just like wistful, just in her own little world. I love that. Komugi and Meruem, I love their dynamic. Their story was fantastic. Palm is funny. That's the end of the story. And Hisoka is Hisoka. He's a very interesting and engaging character. I really like he's just really weird, and he's fun to watch, and I'm like, yo, Hisoka, get on in there.
Why is this not a negative 20? Because we can't 7 extra level, 8 extra levels.
There has to be rules. Now the rules are to be broken. They can be broken. They have been broken, and they will continue to be broken in the future. But 20 is too high
at this point. We got. But let's set our goals at a 15 at this point. Then maybe we can start talking about,
because it was edited fairly well, no real issues, except for people who were just like, I'm just gonna record in the bathroom. It's echoey. I'm outside the window just yelling.
I'm literally outside, but I have a microphone. Like,
it was competently put together. It was inoffensive is the thing. It's just like nothing was said is the issue. Mm-hmm. It's not like things were said wrong. Too many things, because there were things that were said wrong. It's not like it was just like bam, 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 wrong thing after wrong thing after wrong thing.
Thoughts on Deadly Premonition? Super quirky, and I love quirky like horror stuff. That's why I'm more of a fan of like Child's Play and Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, than something like Jason or Hereditary.
Alex said top 5 and bottom 5 One Piece characters.
Oh yeah, I'll give it to that. I totally missed it. My fault. What do you think of No More Heroes 1 and 2? Excellent. What are my hopes for the third game? Remain excellent. Put Travis in Smash. Top 5, bottom 5 One Piece characters.
Usopp.
Okay. Yep. In there with you.
Big Mom.
I'll agree with that. Dofi.
Nah, not top 5.
Dofi?
Not top 5. I love Dofi, but not top 5. It's hard because I'm just like, yeah, these are my characters. I'm gonna put them over here. They're in the potential top 5.
We might need to come back to that one.
Yeah, we might need to. Because that's 10 separate characters across.
Alex, are you on the Discord? If you're on the Discord, we might put it in later in the Discord because we actually got to think about that. Bottom is easier. You got people like Axeham Morgan. You got.
That's not fair.
I care about fair. Axeham Morgan. Hody. Well, I might need to think about that one too. If you're not a Discord, if you have a Discord, please join the Discord or look at the Twitter later. Maybe I'll put it on there.
Send it to the Twitter or something. Like
Alex,
that.
Whatever you're on, we will send you what we think through that.
Because that's a thinky one.
Mm-hmm. Favorite fighting game? For me, Mortal Kombat 9 is the one that got me into the fighting game community. It's the one I've spent the most amount of time on. I think I had clocked something like 600 hours in it. Mortal Kombat 9, if they were to remake it, I would probably stop playing every other fighting game around that time.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is just stupid fun. That's the one that I've had the most time playing. And Soul Calibur 4, because I was actually good at it.
Thought on Spider-Man Miles Morales the game, too short.
Definitely too short.
A little too short.
Too many like repeated. It was basically just the first one with you got some shocky powers.
I enjoyed the powers because I went back and played Spider-Man, the remastered edition after the fact, and I was like, dang, I kind of want to play Miles instead. Like, I enjoyed the Miles combat and the power system more than the one for Spidey. But the villain was too easy to know who it was. I cared about her until... See, this is the problem. And I'm going into a little bit of, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm going to a little bit of those spoilers. I enjoy these villains that are just like, these people are doing bad and we need to fix it, even if it means we're kind of terrorists. But then they're just like, I blow up a building full of people. I don't give a They gotta learn.
It's gotta be that.
It's gotta be that. This is the only way they're gonna listen. And I don't like that. So, yeah.
Totally
it was
enjoyable. I don't think it was worth the $40, was it? $40, that's way too much.
Time to get food. Enjoy, Leo. Yeah, we're just answering questions. Anybody? So for the 27 people left, y'all can leave. We had 40 people at one point. That's stupid. Stop coming to these. If Platinum Games made an anime game with a GOAT OST, what anime would it be? Bayonetta developers.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. Platinum.
Jesus.
I think
honestly, Bleach.
Bleach would be really good. Bleach would fit a lot. I was thinking it would have to be, if it's going to be your first outing, it would have to be something simple like Fist of the North Star or like part 1 of JoJo. Something just like low to the ground. You don't have to do too much. But Platinum knows what they're doing. Bleach would be kind of fire.
Plus they fly. The movement would be good. I might be Bleach.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do too much per character, so they can have more than just playing against Ichigo. If you're talking about the Shinigamis. Bleach might be hitting, because with something like My Hero, you'd have to do a lot. With something like One Piece, you'd have to do a lot. Might be hitting, y'all. What's the 10 worst Hunter x Hunter characters? How much time we got?
Everybody else.
Honestly, Leorio.
Leorio is awful. I hate Leorio. He's
Kurapika's whatever.
Going post Chimera.
Yeah, he's trash.
During and post Chimera. That acting way too irrational. We've had so many arguments in the comments and nobody has been able to
Biscuit is not as fun as people say.
I would not say that she's bottom 10 though.
No, I don't say that. I'm just saying she's not as fun. Get back to us. There's
a lot of just whatever people in the Phantom Troop. Bomb Dude, get him in there.
Oh yeah, he was getting throw. Terrible. Get back to us. Favorite Persona 4 characters?
It was Chie forever, and then it became Naoto. So, it is a heart versus the mind thing. In the mind, the obvious answer is Naoto. The heart says Chie. Kanji is also over there.
Kanji's up
He's up there. He's chilling over there. All right, we ain't forgetting about Kanji Tatsui. All right, he's over there, but his heart and mind. So whatever we talking about during the day, that's what it is.
Yukiko, number 1 with the f***ing bullet. Miss Amagi, she was low tier in Persona 4 Ultimax and all of that stuff. I still played her. You know why? Because I love that f***ing girl. She is f***ing amazing.
Be a nice Genki Chie type, and it's just a smart, cool Naruto type. She's great. Love her.
Josh, Jesus, we did not think about this. Worst Black Clover character.
Nah!
All right, we're gonna write some.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to write those 3 down. So we got
bottom 10 Hunter x Hunter.
Bottom 10
Worst Black Clover.
Worst Black Clover.
And top 5 bottom 5 One Piece. We're gonna write these down for next time, y'all.
We got a podcast after this, so we'll probably be talking about tomorrow. You'll see it on the Twitter or
Discord or something.
We'll put it somewhere.
We'll put it somewhere for y'all. Even if we gotta make a quick video, just like, hey, y'all asked us some questions. These are the answers. At this point, ALX scores are binary. Either it's a negative 10 or it's not. Man, I gave Mike Kyubi like a 7.5. It was, you know. Hey, don't call us out like this.
The real bad ones are the real bad ones. We can't do nothing about that. Y'all can. Send us some good videos for viewer request month.
Boy, let's get some negative 3s in there, y'all, please.
Yeah, it's up to y'all to save us.
Because we're doing a bad job. Top 5 plants. I really like peace lilies. I like ficuses. I like palm trees a lot. It's probably sunflowers. Love sunflowers. I actually like the weeds, the dandelions. I actually like them.
I like white roses. They're very nice. Very nice. That's a Borat reference, you see.
When will we
ruin for me?
Forever. When will we continue Somnium? Maybe Nope. We're going to the movies Tuesday, so I'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll take Tuesday off because we're going to the movie to go see Old, and then maybe Thursday because we probably need to record something for Revisited Wednesday, so probably Thursday. So Tuesday, Monday, and Thursday are definite days. Get on the Discord if y'all aren't there. Absolutely, it's really fun. Can you do the Inner Demon video next? There's somebody linked us a Dragon Ball video that we really want to do. There's also like 2 other things. The Inner Demon video is coming. Don't worry about it.
I want to do the Danganronpa video.
Yeah, the Danganronpa was the other one. Yep. So, sometime in August we'll do it for you, Joshua. We'll do it because Josh, you've been requesting it for a long time. We'll do it sometime in August. Smash Bros ain't a fighting game. Don't start that. Don't start that.
The argument could be made. Who knows?
Either way.
That new Cartoon Network game looks on and popping. That looks to be a at least very fun game.
I was doing this because I wanted you to keep talking because I was swallowing my water.
I thought you were like, I got a point and let me talk about it before you go on.
I do have a point. It's from developers that have already made these type of platformers games, so they know what's on and popping. And it's got rollback netcode. Y'all, buy that game. And we playing it.
And I like how it's just a bunch of weirdo characters that you're just like, Nigel Thornberry? Really? I like that. Instead of just your obvious boom, boom, boom ones.
Top 5 introductions in One Piece.
Kaido.
Maybe Enelu. Kuma and Dofi is kind of ruined because they just popped up in the meeting place.
Yeah.
Brooke's up there. Zoro's actually up there, just hanging on a cross. That's kind of fire.
If Big Mom's intro was her singing, that song that would have been it, but she had a little bit in Whole Cake that was not as impactful.
Fishman
If it
Island.
was in, I'm sorry. If it was just that singing in Whole Cake, that would have been great. But you got a little bit in back then.
Frankie's
was really good.
We'll have to think about it. Favorite One Piece movie? Film Z.
It waffles between Film Z and Stampede. I am a
Stampede.
I love Stampede.
I understand
it's lizard brain. It's heart and mind.
Yeah.
It's just look, it's big fight, and I love them teaming up.
Yep.
I love when Bo was just like, you don't touch that bum, and she kicks in Bullet and he folds. I'm like, Boa, hold on. We up here like that?
Thoughts on Eden Zero? It's in my list to read. I just have not. This guy is a coward.
I'm such a coward. I'm such a coward. And then I looked it up. I'm like, it's on episode 16? What? When? I can't. I'm a coward. Every time I open, I have it downloaded. It's there. Every time I'm just like, press the button. It's right there. Here we go. We about to just sit down. I'm not doing anything today. We're about to sit down. We about to go through Eden Zero just to form an opinion on it. It's like, I can't. I'd rather be doing anything else. I can't
doing anything else.
I don't have to read Eden Zero. So I don't. I'm a coward. I know I am.
Will you play Babylon Fall game? Dude, it's the one platinum game I've ever seen that does not look interesting in the slightest. I will not be playing that trash.
Big whoops.
I think Leorio is funny. Yeah, you can get banned. Favorite Persona 3 characters?
Mitsuki, I really like her. Ice Queen. Very good trope. She's fun. Mitsurugi, sorry.
I think.
Yeah, it's Mitsurugi. Mm-hmm. She's just like no nonsense. I love no nonsense Ice Queen type like her. She's really good. I love the female pro tag.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just in like Persona 5, just like, give me the option to date some dudes. Cause I'm like, I'd be all over Yusuke. That's a 10-star date, man.
You definitely would have been.
That would have been
on that
all
man's
over
balls.
that. But yeah, it was fun to see that you just get the different perspective of dating the dudes.
I like Aigis. I love Aigis.
Yeah, Aigis is really good. Akihiko.
Oh yeah,
another no nonsense boxy man.
That girl that Junpei saved. I liked her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably
Persona 3 had a good cast.
I think it's the weakest cast though.
Absolutely.
Thoughts on Mob Psycho 100? Didn't read it, but it's in my list.
I watched 3 episodes and I had the One Punch Man experience of, oh no, this is the same joke over and over. I'm not interested. Goodbye.
What's your favorite Guilty Gear characters and why? Chip Zaneth. He just has a playstyle that appeals to me greatly. Kind of fast, in your face, rush down with a little bit of trickery and like depending on the game, a little bit of zoning. And I love those types of characters.
Venom, I love like trap characters and characters where you have like a different person that you can control and just like get behind him and do stuff like that. Love him. I love the pool ball man. I'm terrible with him, but he has one of the most unique mechanics that I've ever seen in a fighting game. And who is the dude with the really big stick and the hunger thing?
Kisuke.
I don't believe that's who it was, but let's go
Where
with that.
he had to eat meat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kisuke.
I'm pretty sure that was the
or Kai Kisuke.
I'm pretty sure that was the other dude.
KY Kisuke.
Okay, let me KY Kisuke.
You're thinking of Saul Bad Guy.
No, there is a blonde dude there who is that is the wrong dude. That is the blue only to the red.
Who are you talking about?
This is not the same dude. This is a separate dude.
Okay, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. I was asking who I was talking about. You definitively went, yo, this is the dude. I was like, no, it's not that dude.
Okay, whatever.
That's not that dude. I'm going to look up Guilty Gear, eat meat. Oh, no. Say search on. Say search on. No, not guilty to eat meat.
Is it, should I feel guilty? I know a friend that's guilty of eating pork.
I feel guilty with just eating meat in general. It's terrible.
Why?
It's terrible.
And?
That's enough.
Yeah, plants feel too. Give me them grains.
Plants are sin. Sin.
Okay.
Sin Kisuke. Long way to go for nothing. But I love he is absolutely overpowered until you run out of meat, and then you're just dead in the water.
Thanks, Gavin. In 20 seconds too late. Thought on Erased.
Oh, is he his son?
I did not know he was his son, though.
Erased, I love. I always say this. I love Erased. I do not know how good it is because it speaks to me so much because I love time travel stuff. I love good characters, and it's just two characters basically interacting, and I love these two characters. And it's just like, these are two things that I love, and they're doing them well. So I don't know how good it is if I were to recommend it. I can't recommend it because I don't know. I just know that I do not like the ending in neither the anime nor the manga.
After JoJo Part 6, we all raped the JoJo's opening. Rank them. Yeah, sure. Why not? Favorite protagonist and antagonist dynamic. Good question.
Satsuki Kiryuin and Ryuko Matoi in Kill la Kill. I love that. And it's sort of flipped around in it's not flipped around, it's basically done the same in season 4 of Korra. Korra, oh no, Korra bad. Korra's fine. Shut up, everybody. It's fine. I don't want to see them comments. Yeah, I love that dynamic of just a good dynamic. I love dynamics of just like rough and tumble person and strict by the rules person. It's like, oh, I'm stuffy by the rules person. And I'm get out of your shell type person.
Light and L.
Light and L.
That's a really
good one.
Jesus Christ. Because the entire series goes downhill after, y'all know the moment. Complete stop on that series. From 10 to 6. Bye. What's the Danganronpa video about? What was that one about?
Muff and Meme did like 15 of them. You know Meme.
Oh, Jesus. Y'all, if for nothing else, go to the Discord just to see how much we get requested videos and how much Meme just spams us with those.
But they knock him out of the park.
And he's knocking them out the park. That's the worst part. I wish they were videos. I could just be like, ignore that. But it's like, no, that looks really good.
It was a couple of them.
Okay.
I can't.
You'll see it when we do it. Are y'all Nickelodeon?
It was rant on Danganronpa V3 and why Danganronpa V3 is the worst one. Those were two of them. I just went on a bunch of videos, and I'm sure you did a couple more.
Are y'all Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Nickelodeon has like the early stuff. You got your Rugrats, your Doug, I Real Monsters, Ren and Stimpy.
If I were to be given a choice, I would say Disney Boy. I would say I'm a Disney boy because my God, Recess, Pepper Ann.
I'm on Nickelodeon. I think it got better stuff that better stuff that I watched when I was a kid. But now that I'm an adult, the Cartoon Network has better stuff with like Gumball and
I'm gonna go Cartoon Network. Period. Ed, Edd n Eddy, Powerpuff Girls.
I dig it.
Cow and Chicken. Yeah, no, I'm going Cartoon Network. I'm a Cartoon Network boy. Teen Titans Go. And Teen Titans? Yeah, no. I gotta go Cartoon Network. Even though Nick has Avatar. Overrated arc in One Piece. I can tell you an underrated one in Thriller Bark. Overrated. Honestly, maybe Alabasta.
I'm about to say. I thought you were about to say Marineford.
Maybe Alabasta. Marineford is heavily overrated. Yeah, I'm switching to Marineford. While you're thinking, what's the worst One Piece movie? There was a One Piece movie that dealt with a sword, and you would assume Zoro got the end of that, and Luffy got it, and I was just like, what the...
Yeah, I can't think of one. I think the one, they're properly rated.
Marineford is not. It's overrated. One Piece movie 5 is top tier. Y'all went to see Black Widow. We did see it. It is a movie.
It is a movie. It is absolutely fine. Don't rush out to see it. I say this a lot. That's a movie that I saw once and I'm never going to see again.
Ever.
I like The Red Patriot. He likes the sister. There's very little things to say about this. I wish Taskmaster was better.
Oh, absolutely. That was a disgusting display for Taskington.
I am.
What do you think?
And I'm already forgetting it, and I saw it last week.
What do you
flying out of my mind?
What do you think of Cage of Eden? I love Cage of Eden. The ending had to be rushed because the series was canceled, so they were like, we'll give you an ending, but
come on now,
get it wrapped up. And I wish it was given a proper time because it was very much like Lost, where you could see that they wanted to flesh it out and explore the plot a little bit more. Whereas I don't really want to give spoilers. It's just like, all right, this is what it is, and let's go. What is the worst powers in Hunter x Hunter?
I hate Leorio's teleport punch.
Yeah, that was trash.
It just comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh, I wonder what Leorio's ninja ability is going to be. It's a teleport punch. Okay, somebody already had a teleport punch. The chains do too much.
It's too much.
Including just like, instant getting you from, and then it's like this new arc giving them even more. It's like, come on.
Dawn of Kingdoms manga. Have not read it.
I've seen some pictures and they are very pretty.
Okay. Have you ever watched Scissor 7? Thoughts?
That sounds like a porno.
It definitely does.
And yes, I have.
5 is good, but meant to say 6. For One Piece movie, 6 is top tier.
I'm gonna look up Scissor 7 while you're doing
Yep. Thought on Megalobox 2, still have not seen it yet. What's so special about female protagonists and not the male protagonist?
Ooh.
I think it's because...
This looks interesting.
Oh yeah, that looks stupid interesting.
I like this art style. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Gavin, you might have just did something.
That looks very interesting.
You might have just did something with the Scissor 7.
It's a new one? Oh, it came out in January. Oh, man.
I think people gravitate towards female protagonists more because you don't get to see a lot of them, especially in the shonen space. So it's more interesting inherently because it's something you're not as used to. But I don't think they're particularly better or worse than their male counterparts. I just think
people just need to seem to feel the need to just bring up the fact that they are women.
Yeah.
Women empowerment and all that stuff. Because there's the new He-Man. It's just like, spoilers for the new He-Man, I guess. Episode 1, it's just like, Adam and He-Man and Skeletor, they both blew up. And it's all about He-Man's wife now. It's like, wait a second, the title's He-Man, and Kevin Smith was all over Twitter going, that ain't what is happening. And then it happened. He's like, well, it does happen, but a lot of other stuff happens. It looks really bad.
Any RPG recommendations other than Persona, Final Fantasy, or Dragoon? Fun little series they never go on sale though. My God, never.
The World Ends With You is a very, very good one if you can get it on DS. I'm going to be absorbed in the new one, Neo The World Ends With You, in a couple of days. That's going to be sad.
Freaking the Atelier games. I wasn't as big a fan of Rise as other people were, but you can get the collection for like $80 and on sale. Maybe you can get it for $75 to $60. You probably want to do the Dusk trilogy. That's probably the best gameplay / story of the ones. But the Atelier games are very worth it. Or you can just, yo-ho it.
What was that music JRPG that I always forget the name of?
Eternal Sonata.
Eternal Sonata. I love Eternal Sonata because it is it's a turn-based JRPG, but you have a little gauge. It's like you can do whatever you can in this little gauge. So throwing an arrow takes 3 seconds. Potion takes 2 seconds. So it's just like do whatever you can in this amount of time.
Same thing with something like Grandia. It's very where you are based. So even if you swing your sword, you might miss somebody because they're moving away from you. So yeah, and there's cancel mechanics, there's combo attacks. Grandia is very good.
Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, that is also Fire Flames Fire. You don't need to know anything about the Yakuza series. It definitely helps because there are certain characters that show up and like that is a character that comes from something else, but you don't need to know anything about his history. He's just like, oh, yo, here comes this awesome dude.
The Tales of series, you can pick out which ones people say are the good ones.
Resonance of Fate.
Resonance of Fate for that kid. Yeah, there's a lot of great JRPGs out there. It's just not, you don't get them in like the mainstream space. You're gonna look for secondary, like your Hyperdimension Neptunians or something. What is the overrated MCU and DC movie? Overrated DC movie is Man of Steel, only because it is contentious. It should be rated much lower.
Overrated MCU is Black Panther. It's good,
yes,
but people are heralding it as
the second coming. It's straight.
DC, give me Aquaman. That got a lot of money, and people are like, yo, this is the good one. Like, it's fine.
It's fine. What do you think of Guilty Gear Strive's character design? They're really good.
I like them a lot. I've always liked, hey, here is this character design, but we're gonna tweak it just a little bit, just enough to show that there's a little bit of growth in there. Mm-hmm. They're still very recognizable characters. Like Ino still's got her red and her black and her big hat, so you still know. But it's changed up a little bit. And I've always really, really liked that.
What do you think of JoJo's Part 8? Part 8 started out as like my 4th favorite JoJo part. Now it's going down. This ending was too abrupt. The villain was defeated too abruptly, and it is a very long one. They have some of my favorite fights and characters in the entire series, but it's not enough for me anymore.
Rocky needed chains on this one. Not full on chains, but something just like over his shoulder, like, hey Rocky, well, are we gonna mention this thing back here? No? Okay, that's fine. I think somebody mentioned it, I think in the Discord, was just like, it would be amazing if Part 9 was a direct continuation of Part 8, because there's just so much left on the ground. And this last chapter had almost nothing to do with the present day story, and it introduced a bunch of new concepts.
And on top of that, the next chapter is the final chapter, and it might still do this past story stuff.
So, as somebody was just like, it'd be great if it was just a direct continuation a couple years maybe after.
Okay, I think we're thought on Akira movie or manga is good. It deserves what it gets.
They were teasing that live action movie for so long, and I'm like, are you sure? Do we really need to see the big old goop flesh thing? Y'all not, you can't make it look good.
All right, this is our last one. Have y'all played any Donkey Kong games?
I have played. So, Donkey Kong 64, I played that when I was a very, very young individual. This was before the time of computers and whatnot. We didn't even have like a manual of just like, hey, here's all the bananas. I had it. I was on track to beating it. I had 200 bananas. There are 201 bananas. I did not know where that last banana is. My little brother gave that cartridge to one of his cousins. One of our cousins. That cousin never gave it back. For some 15 years, I was haunted by never getting that one banana. So I went back, emulated it, and got that last banana. And for the longest time, my header on Twitter was just a banana with 201 because I was so proud of getting that last banana. It was the monkey on my back, so to speak. It was my demon. Every now and again, I'm just like, it's not done. I am a completionist at heart. I have autographs. I'm just like, yo, here's all the Straw Hats except for one. And I don't like fact that I don't have the autograph for that one Straw Hat. It was Lucy for a while.
Oh, okay. There you got that.
Yeah, I got that completionist mindset of just like, this isn't done. And then at a certain point, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I can do this. And then I challenged myself. I'm like, not looking anything up. No. But I did use save states. I needed save states because I'm terrible. I found out I'm terrible at the original Donkey Kong. I could not beat that muff in little arcade thing to save my life. So I'm just like, I'm save scumming this. I don't care.
Hey, invisible mode, God mode, whatever y'all gotta do to have fun, get it done.
Well, I didn't do that. But again, I got it.
Yeah, because you still wanted the challenge of it. It's more so for people that are just like mad that some things get a God mode, like Ratchet and Clank got a God mode. It's like, if that's how people want to. Now, I'll say this though: reviewers should not use those. Reviewers should play the games on normal difficulty because that is the most pure interpretation of what the designers and stuff wanted for the game, and that's what you should review. You should not make the game better or worse for yourself to review it. And with that, we're out of here. This was a mistake. And also, stop coming to these. Stop coming to these.
Unless it's something that y'all choose and it's trash and it's your fault. I don't. Since we already announced it, I don't think it's good to just like wait to 7 or 8 weeks or something. How about we do the listener request month on the 5?
Starting with 45.
Yeah, or yeah, starting with 45.
55.
Yeah, that's a month instead of just like almost 2 months.
Yeah, we could do 5 videos there. Yeah, we could do that.
And if they're like 10-minute videos, we can like do some even more and part 2s and whatnot.
Honestly, maybe we live stream all of them instead of recording them.
Maybe.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about polling systems and things like that, and we'll get all that set up. This was a terrible video. This was a mistake.
Terrible video.
Almost worthless. Grand Line Reviewer, not a good YouTuber. I checked out one of his older videos of just like, can the Phantom Troop beat Mirror Women? He's like, absolutely. And he used like a no limits fallacy of arm pumping man, where every time he pumps his arm, he gets stronger. He goes, he could just go into the fight, pumped infinity and blow him away. I'm like, that's a no limits fallacy. That's a literal fallacy, my G. Made terrible points. Terrible points in that video.
Oh no. But they always